All right, everybody, welcome. Welcome. Everyone's climbing in here. Get
Mic
this.
check. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, perfect, guys. All right, we'll get Stone up here. We're going to get started, guys. Good morning, one and all. We got THORChain and XRP today. So we're going to do a little custom intro here. So for the XRPers and THORChads out there who don't know each other, let's start with THORChain. THORChain is a DEX, a decentralized exchange that allows you to swap native asset to native asset. So you can swap now XRP to any other asset or any other asset to XRP. Thousands of options due to DEX aggregation. All real layer one native tokens. This is not a bridge. This is not wrap tokens. Layer one to layer one. THORChain is no KYC, which means kill your customer. It is permissionless. You do not need any special permission to use THORChain. The native token of THORChain is Rune. It's called spelled RUNE. Very important, especially to the XRPers listening to this or the recording. You do not need to buy or hold Rune to place a swap on THORChain. I'm not selling you anything. We are gifting the ability to swap to layer one the first time ever that's been available for THORChain. Do not need to buy anything. When you make a swap, the fee is deducted from the starting layer one. So if you go Bitcoin to XRP, for example, it is taken from the Bitcoin, and then that pays the gas transactions for Rune, and then the outbound for XRP. So you don't, again, need to hold Rune. Very important design consideration. There's no block rewards on THORChain. 100% of the yield is real. THORChain has another token called TCY. This token is like a preferred stock, and 10% of the protocol's revenue goes to these token holders. If you deposited crypto into the Savers module or took out a loan on THORChain, make sure to claim your TCY token so you can start collecting this yield, and anyone can buy the token as well. To swap on THORChain, go to thorchain.com, click on swap. You will see all the wallets and websites to use THORChain, and you can choose whatever interface you want. Little side quest. We're probably going to make our own interface to make this even more streamlined and simple, but there you go. Riraa is building a decentralized Binance on THORChain. It's a smart contract layer. It's being rolled out as we speak, and this is something I'm very excited to talk to the XRPers about. There is a lot of cool things because you guys are building stuff in the XRPL on Riraa. There's a lot of teamwork to be had there, so stay tuned for that. Speaking of Binance, if you guys hold your Rune on a centralized exchange, please withdraw into self-custody. Those tokens are being used to short Rune and drive the price down. We are trying to remove our Rune from centralized exchange to get most on the market. So please, once in self-custody, you can look into bonding it at runebond.com to earn some yield and secure the network too. I mean, you're holding Rune and you're not bonding it. You're not earning that yield. It's literally just Rune for Rune, and there's no impermanent loss. There's a THORChain community Discord you can join and learn all about THORChain and make some friends as well, guys. So please, guys, as we get started here, please repost the space. XRPers, THORChads, everybody. If you're listening to the recording, repost the space. This is going to be a big space, you guys. There's a lot of connections we're going to make today, a lot of education. Both sides are going to be doing that. This space is aimed at both communities, okay? And you're going to learn that XRP and THORChain share a lot of similarities, particularly when it comes to infrastructure. THORChain's infrastructure, XRP's infrastructure. We just do different things. And that means our stars are aligned. Like we need a permutation of our communities. It is incredible what's possible here. For the node operators, last thing, bond providers, there's a vote going on right now. Layer one slip, the slip minimum basis fee. It's either 8 or 5 basis points, ADR 20. Please make sure you vote. Let's get this party freaking started. Stone, hello, buddy. Hello, I see everyone in there. Lady K, various XRPers. What's going on, Stone?
Good morning, and I am excited to spend this time with you guys right now. Thank you for inviting me to co-host. Shout out to all the XRP community down there. I see some real legends. Please, if you haven't done it already, I realize the space was launched from, it looks like a PC, so it will make it a little bit difficult to leave comments, but what we're going to do is I'll do it right now. I'm going to share this space up to the top. So then that way you can, oh shoot, if I can find it. Here we go. I'm going to share the space up to the top. So if you want to leave a comment, click on the post up top and comment under that. That way the algorithm will be tickled, people will see us. Also, share the room to your Telegram rooms, your Discords. You can hit that share button and text it out to your grandma, whatever you need to do. Get your kids in here to listen because this is the future of finance. This is one step further, bridging those other chains and all that liquidity out there into the XRPL where everybody can save money. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Mocha and other ways, point of sale devices that your communities can then make a passive income. There's a lot of good information going to come out. I encourage anyone in the crowd that wants to come up and ask a question, request a microphone. I'll do my diligence to get you up here, trying to help out THORChain with the space. So again, Denny, thank you for putting this together. Thank you for inviting me and all of my XRP Ledger friends.
Thank you, buddy. And we're going to get some introductions here just in case people don't know. So yeah, my real name is Denny. I'm Patriot Sounds. I'm rocking the Rune Bond account. Educator for THORChain. Been doing that for about 5 years now. I think a little longer. Love it. And we're kicking some serious butt. I'm going to go ahead and kick it to Kenton. We'll go to Stone, and then we'll just do quick introductions for everybody, and we're going to get this show started. So go ahead, Kenton.
Yeah, my name's Kenton. My real name is Kenton Ralph Toes. I'm a node operator on THORChain. I have a fund that invests in Rune and is dedicated to running nodes on THORChain. And yeah, I enjoy doing these spaces with Patriot and everyone listening.
Go ahead, Stone.
All right. Hi, I'm Stone. I host Space Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard, right here on X. I tend to highlight everything that XRP is doing and the layer 2 XRPL projects, what they're building, the solutions they're solving. And my main focus is connecting builders to builders, connecting communities to developers. I have a lot of my friends in here today. Maybe we could get them up on stage to introduce themselves as well. So I just thank you guys for showing up, giving us your attention on this Saturday, and really helping us spread the information, getting it disseminated.
Likewise, I really appreciate that too, guys. I know, and I appreciate you, Stone. Stone, you do not do spaces on Saturday. You made a specific exception to join us on our space on the Saturday. I know you have family out, so you're giving us 2 hours of your time, and that is not lost to me. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And guys, if it was not for Stone, I would have had a much harder time learning about the XRP community. So please give him a follow, whether you're listening to this live or a recording. Let's get this guy to 10,000. What an absolute gentleman this guy is, and just overall a badass person. So thank you, buddy. We'll go ahead and go to Lady K. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Lady K, and I run a validator on the XRPL. And Rune must be, or THORChain must be special to get Stone here on a Saturday. And I can't wait to hear what you guys are going to talk about today.
Thank you, Lady K. And yes, thank you again, Stone. Very awesome. And XRP is very special too. This relationship is going to be very special. I promise, guys. There's so many things that are going to be happening. Eric, I'm going to go to you, and then we'll go to... I believe Stone has space like Rug like 3 times yesterday. So we'll get everyone back on stage again. We're going to keep going, guys. I see lots of XRPers in here. I see more XRPers than I see my own community. That's awesome. That makes me so happy. Thank you guys so much for attending. Lord have mercy. Okay, let me get Stone back in here. Let's give him a link. All right, very good. Okay, and then we're going to get Zoge back in here. I really, really want to talk to Zoge. So, all right, we got people piling in. All right, perfect. Yeah, I know, Connie. It's, gosh, dang it. It's unbelievable.
I wonder if something I did, I was just moving I touched my phone. I wonder if I pressed leave or something and then it hung up. I don't.
Well, yesterday, like there was other spaces and they were just dropping. I attended one space. It dropped 3 separate times. I think it's on the X side. It's random.
Okay, good. Yeah.
It's broken. X can just be broken.
As co-host, I think I'm pretty sure if there's multiple co-hosts, we can leave. It's just as long as the host stays on.
Yeah,
So
that should be right. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, what can you do?
Oh, it looks like the comments are working.
Hey, there you go. There's a positive.
Yeah, well, something worked. Yeah, there we go.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So let's get Stone back up here. Eric, just go ahead. We're gonna continue to go ahead with the introduction. We're just gonna keep going here, and then we'll go to Zoge if he gets up in time.
Is too freaking funny. So yeah, you can leave, you can close out your phone, everything, but you can't hit that leave button. You can X out, you can swipe down out of the screen, you hit X, close X out, and then bring X back up, and you'll still be fine. But I don't know what that was. Anyway, thanks for reopening. And we do have our purple pill. That's a big win.
Hey, it was meant to
Everybody,
be.
put a
It was.
comment below in the purple pill. Tell us what you think.
Oh man. Okay, guys, continue on. Eric, go ahead with the introduction. We'll go to Zoge.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Lady K, you have the technical knowledge. I really hope. Well, in fact, I expect you to start running a Rune node pretty soon. Maybe I don't know, just get a couple of, or maybe Zoge and Lady K together. I don't know, just it's something. Also, not only to create some passive income for yourself while validating the protocol, but also to get more involved in governance and all that good stuff. But yes, my name is Eric. I'm part of growth at Mocha. I'm a THORChain community member for a few years now, and I already consider myself an XRP community member for a couple of weeks, maybe a month now. Dude, this community is amazing. I'm so excited to have you guys here. Yeah, let's kick this off.
Awesome, man. And yeah, I do feel the same way as well. And guys, I'm going to quickly, just before Zoge goes, I cannot describe how awesome this community is. I was attending Space yesterday. There's just something we can learn from them. Their community is so strong. For example, when there was a disaster in Texas and various problems across the United States, like they one part of the community minted some NFTs. Miss Poo Poo, the frog with the big eyes, and they minted some NFTs. They sold them to their own community to raise money for disaster relief. They drove to help people in flooded areas. Like, I'm telling you guys, these people are just absolute winners, and they do things like, and I think they're the perfect bridge for the part of our society that doesn't understand blockchain and to on-ramp them, because they can see them actually taking action and solving real world problems. So I don't want to be over loving here where it's cringe, but I cannot describe how awesome these people are. So go ahead, Zoge. I'm going to kick it to you, buddy.
Hi guys, I'm Zoge, and I am the deployer of a multi-chain meme coin via free airdrops, knowing the future finance would be integration, interoperability, decentralization. I am a co-host of Trench Warfare Nightly, most nights on the XRPL, and I also created MadLab, and MadLab is a fully decentralized wallet. But not only is the wallet itself decentralized open source, but the actual servers that it connects to are the validators. And by that, it is truly unique because it is a wallet that's also an AMM and now a cross-chain swap into multiple ecosystems via the Thor swap in it. So happy to be here and exciting times.
Yeah, guys, he's been integrating the capabilities of THORChain. And he when he was talking about how awesome THORChain works with returning quotes for swaps, really made my day when he said that, because it's been a long slog to get to this point. So thank you, Zoge, so much for coming up. Very complicated to get the technology to work where it's at, guys. With the Coke, and then we'll go to after, and then we're going to get the party started.
Hey guys, I'm with the Coke. Friends call me Coke, so you all can call me Coke. I'm like a Patriot. I'm a community educator, trying to spread the love, trying to make people know what's real, what's false, and direct them in the spaces where they need to go. If they're in for the buying Rune, DCY, if they're trying to be a node operator, etc. And also, just letting you know, guys, X is not recording the space. but I'm the THORChain intern when it comes to technical stuff. So I'm recording this space. So hopefully everything goes well and my PC is not crashing.
Perfect, man. And thank you for doing that. It's always fun to roll with the punches on X. You never know what's going to happen. After, go ahead, and then we're going to get the party started.
GM, just a silly decentralized enthusiast to remind you guys that when the centralized exchanges are feared, that's tyranny. And when they fear DeFi, that's liberty. That's what I'm here for. Godspeed, you guys. Do good stuff.
Let's go. What a statement of truth.
I love it. I love it, guys. All right. So because the beginning of the space cut out, do just a quick recap, very, very quick. What is THORChain? What is XRP? Guys, we're infrastructure. XRP wants to be a settlement layer between various currencies, stocks, and things like that. THORChain is connecting blockchains, okay? When you combine those two technologies, you have an absolutely winning combination. XRP is number 3 market cap, and it's reasons not only their tech is cool, but it's also from the community as well, okay? Cannot even describe how awesome these people are. And so with that being said, I really want to get people on the Riraa, hopefully Pragmatic Monkey can join, because I really want them to talk with you, Zoge, because with THORChain, getting the swaps by themselves was very complicated. But now that we're there and we're finally getting everything where it runs smoothly, reliably, it's now what we can build on top of THORChain that gets me so excited. So I know you guys are building your own DeFi primitives as well. And that's what I really want to do. I want to really have our teams just collab, okay? And there's a lot of more things that we're going to be building as well. Stone, go ahead. I think you had your hand raised.
2 things. One, can you make me co-host again so that I can see who's requesting up? I'm just used to being able to see it, and it's weird for me to be on this side of the table. Secondly, can we elaborate on you mentioned, or Eric mentioned, that Lady K and Zoge should become validator operators, and we touched on it during Coffee and Crypto that there's people out there to supply the Rune so that when you become a validator, it's not as taxing of a first step. It's not as an expensive first step as you might think. Could we maybe start off with infrastructure?
Yeah. So basically, what I meant is we have someone called Runetard in our community, and he teaches people how to become really good node operators. Okay. Our goal is to decentralize the network, and how we do that is we want more unique validators for our protocol. All right. Right now we have a arbitrary technical limitation of 120 for the network. There's a lot of reasons for that, but I don't want to get sidetracked here. If someone, when Runetard tells me or Kenton or someone else, like, hey, this guy or girl, they're really good, they got it, they're awesome, I then go out of my way to go to the community to try to crowdsource Rune to get them churned in. You need a minimum of 300,000 Rune to get churned in. We have some wells. And I just do my best to get you in the network. And other node operators, like Kenton's done this. He's a node operator. Technically, he's your competition, but his investment in Rune is stronger when the network is more decentralized. We're trying to build THORChain so it's immutable, that it lasts forever, that we're talking decades and decades. We want to be the raw infrastructure like a highway that's just crucial to the network. You can't be censored at, no KYC. And now we're in the teenager phase. Like we've gone through our teething stage, the crawling stage, where we learned how to walk, and now we're running. Now it's time to become an adult. And so this is part of the maturity where we actually forgo like the capitalistic principle of competition to make our own base stronger, if that makes sense. It's not communism, it's capitalism, but we're trying to get more people in there. So we have more node operators, and then one day we can go above 120. And so THORChain is completely uncapturable. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So the people that supply, or we're used to terms like staking, self-custody. So I might say this wrong, and then you can go back and correct me. So what they have are people with big bags who are willing to stake that with your validator, retaining self-custody of their Rune, right? So they never let go of their rune, but yet they are offering up the opportunity for a Lady K or a Zoge to then step in with their hardware, doing the hardware portion of it, while the person holding the big bag is supplying what they need in order to complete those transactions.
Well, it could be it can be more than one. It can be a lot of different bond providers. Kenton, since you are a node operator, you mind if I kick it to you? Do you want to break this down a little bit more?
And also send me that co-host.
Sorry, what do you want me to break down?
Like being a node operator, bond provider, how that works. Sorry if you're busy. I didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
No, I'm just well, I thought you guys did a good job. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how much more. Yeah, you
Yeah.
no, so you get a node going. You find people with Rune to bond to your node. You have to whitelist their address, and then they just send their Rune. When people bond, it stays within their same address. So that's it's important for people to understand. When you send your Rune to a node, it's still in your custody. You're still keeping it. It's still on your address. You're not sending it to a different address. So when you bond to a node, it's not like the node operator has custody of your tokens. That does not occur. The network basically has custody in a sense. All the node operator can do is just control the node, vote, enter and leave the network, that sort of stuff. But for the bond provider, your tokens remain yours, separate and distinct from the node operator. And and because there's a little bit of a, there is trusting. You trust a node operator to be, to be honest and a good steward of the THORChain ecosystem. Like voting properly and carrying out your wishes. You should have a relationship with your node operator. But that's it. Yeah, I don't know what else to add.
Yeah, and, you did well. It's important that if you bond your Rune, it can't be taken from you. It goes to a module. You retain custody, as Stone pointed out. I'm so sorry. There was two. I looked up and there's two hands, Stone and Lady K. I don't know who goes first.
I just had a quick question. Is there a lockup period, and is there any type of slashing?
Okay,
yes, go ahead, Patriot.
I'm so sorry, Kenton. I should have let you take that one. Yeah. So as a node operator, you churn into the network. Okay. We have a churn every 3 days. Okay. During that time, as a node operator, you are observing transactions. You are earning fees based on the real layer 1 swaps are happening through THORChain. Bond providers are locked. They cannot withdraw. They can add Rune, but they cannot withdraw the Rune from the bond module until they churn out. Okay. As the node operator, you can signal to churn out. In terms of slashing, yes, there is slashing. There are two forms of slashing. There is one for bad performance. So if a node operator is, not, their daemons are failing or whatever, just bad performance. And then they don't, their bond does not get slashed more than what they deposit, but your rewards get slashed. So you're not earning rewards for bad performance. The other type of slash is if a node operator tried to do something malicious. So like try to steal funds. I don't really think this is possible given the makeup of the network, but just go with the, with the thought here. If a node operator tries to steal funds, they actually get slashed more in dollar value than the assets that they are securing. So it is an economically suicidal proposition to try to steal funds from network. And if let's just say there was some crazy cabal, again, this is not likely or at all, but crazy cabal, Rune goes to 0. So there really is no rational reason to steal from THORChain expecting a return in profit. That makes sense.
Oh, that's interesting, actually. So non-malicious bad behavior rewards are slashed. Malicious bad behavior, the staked amount is slashed. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
That's what Lady K does. She puts things well so we can all understand. Thanks, Lady K.
All right. So okay, so we got some hands up here. Let's go to Lip. Go ahead. I think that says Lip. Sorry, my eyes are
Yes,
failing me
sir.
here.
You said it perfectly. Hey, how y'all doing today? Yeah, I've been dabbling with THORChain. I want to say at least like 4 years ago. What got my attention was the Savers Vault. So I guess I just want to ask like questions and if it's any point of failures with the Savers Vault, since I use it. I used it for Ethereum. If I remember, I think I got like an APR of like 5 or 10%.
The question was the Savers Vault. Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir. What's the mechanics with it?
So the Savers Vault has been deprecated. That was a design that was trying to get people who submit layer one assets and get yield only on that layer one asset. So, but it wasn't a good design because it leveraged the base model. That was made because we were trying to make our pool depth deeper because in order to swap on THORChain, it goes to the pools, right? And there's a slippage fee there. So the deeper the pool, the less the fee is. But with streaming swaps, we don't need that. We don't need that anymore. Basically, a streaming swap breaks up transactions so they're tiny. So Savers was a bad design. It wasn't economically secure and it leveraged the base model. So it was deprecated when THORFi did not do so well a few months ago. So it's no longer an ability. If you're interested in deploying capital on THORChain at this point as an educator, I recommend learning about bonding your Rune. There's no impermanent loss there. It's just a straight up deal. It makes complete sense. That's what I recommend. There are still some design considerations being made around LPing. LPing can and does work, but I don't want to go down that path until the community has consensus. Because right now, like with LPing, we have something called protocol owned liquidity, which can facilitate pool depth. So I hope that makes sense. It's hard to give a succinct and a good answer when it's kind of complicated, maybe a little bit. So does that make sense what I said?
Oh no, it brings a lot of insight. I think it sounds more safe the way you break it down. I put no more than funds I was willing to lose in a saver vault about like 4 years ago. So that's why I was asking now, what's a safer alternative? So when you talk about bonding the runes, I get more of an impermanent loss protection.
There is no impermanent loss with bonding a Rune. You don't have to you don't lose Rune. You see what I'm saying? You only earn Rune on your Rune. So like you don't have to worry about changing of asset price. It's Kenton, were you trying to say something?
I just want to ask Lip, just to make sure I understand, did you put money in the Ethereum savers on THORChain?
Yeah, I did. I didn't want to say too
Have
much
you
about it, but yeah.
have you claimed your TCY tokens yet?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Yeah, you got to make sure you do that. Your position has been converted into a TCY token, so you need to go claim it, and then you can stake that to start earning the yield. So you got to get on top of that.
Oh, you're a lifesaver. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, dude, well, I feel bad for you, man. Like, you didn't work out, and people like you suffer. So, yeah, hopefully, yeah, please act, because I do feel strongly that you can be able to recover your funds, but you have to get that token first in order to do it.
And what should I look into one last time?
I'll send you the
TCY, Tango Charlie Yellow. What is Y? Yeah. Give me. How do we? Yankee. There you go.
Or YOLO, depending on what age group.
Hey, real quick, guys, I'm gonna interject. I want Stone to be co-host. We're having a problem. I'm gonna drop. I can't
It's not you. It's THORChain. The host is the only one that can give out the co-host.
Yeah. So
if you click on the two little people from the THORChain account, and if there's invites out there, you got to cancel all those invites and then send it again.
Yeah, I'm not the THORChain account. That's a separate individual. So we'll go ahead. It might be a little bug there, but
you can apply to us.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, we'll try and get Stone co-host here. Sorry about that, Stone, and darn X spaces. Okay, Stone, do you have your hand raised?
Shoot, I don't remember what I was gonna say now. You threw my brain off. I was gonna talk about some of the back end swaps and adding, like in Zoge's case, when you add the swap to we'll say the Mad Labs wallet, how all that looks and works, and how yeah. But anyway,
He's telling me, and thank you for saying that. He's telling me he's sending you multiple times a co-host. I'm gonna just drop because I have a join a co-host option. It might be so. I'm dropping, come right back up. We'll just see if that helps.
okay, if he clicks on the two people next to the heart and the wand, and you remove the invites that are already out there, it'll let you do it.
Sounds good.
Good morning, Muham. How are you?
I'm great. What about you?
Fantastic.
Let's go.
Yes.
Oh, hey, perfect. Hey, guys. So I just wanted to give a couple kudos so far for, the TCY implementation. That was great. I know there was like a little hiccups at first where everyone was trying to figure out which wallet to use and whatnot, but in the end, I think it worked out. So yeah, for the guy that was talking about it earlier, yeah, it's pretty simple, that whole process. I think there's like a link that kind of explains like the whole thing. You just put in your wallet that you use the savers for, or whatever you used it for. You go through that process and then you claim it. It's pretty simple. Yeah, so really good job with the whole TCY thing. I think that averted a crisis for the most part. The other thing that I wanted to bring up was, oh yeah, and then also the bond process. I'm a first time bonder to anything, so it's also, I think THORChain has a really good bond process. It's very simple for the most part, I would say, and it's also great that you don't have to set up your own hardware and then try to figure out command prompts and whatnot. You just basically add money to an already node operator, and then you can unbond or request to unbond if like some of them you're able to do that process. So it's pretty simple to bond and unbond. So that's pretty cool. The one thing I would say though is I've seen the idea floating around for having THORChain have its own like front end. I saw some pretty good examples of what would be like a one pager website where, or not one pager, but something very simple where you have your swaps, you have TCY there, and then you have like the ability to get Rune or something like that. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Because yeah, I feel like not that many like normies know about THORChain or Rune. So I know every now and then, like I have some friends that are like, "Oh, what's that?" Like, and it's kind of hard for me to pinpoint to them, like, like where to go and get it. If there was just like a one-stop shop in a way, it would be great. The best example I could say would be, I don't know if any of you guys heard of this, but there was this Trump Maga meme coin. Before all these Trump coins popped up, there was only this one token that was like an official Trump Maga meme coin. It wasn't affiliated with Trump, but it was like the only one. And then, so if you wanted to know how to buy it or whatever, you go to trumpmagamemecoin.com and it basically explained everything there, like what's a wallet, you need this wallet. And it has like little YouTube videos. And then at the very end, it shows like a link to like go to Uniswap. And then that's where you do it. Something like that would be great as like a one-stop shop. Like, so whenever I have normies, friends that are like, hey, you know what? Like, let me buy Rune or whatever. Like, I just send them there. Because right now I have to explain to them, like, oh, you need a wallet. And then once you have the wallet, then you have to like go here to swap it. And then like, it's like a long explanation to try to get them to like to buy it.
I agree with you. Yeah. Thanks for that. I totally agree. That's my goal with having a THORChain front end for to tick off all those things you brought up. But I just want to, guys, I think like the XRP people took the time out of their day, we organized a space. Let's try and keep the focus on XRP And we can talk about the more THORChain specific stuff another day. Stone, you had your hand. You have your hand up. You want to say something?
Two things. One, I wanted to correlate what's going on with this the bonding as it correlates to like Choreium, right? So for us in the XRP ledger, we recently had a space that we took Choreium. I shared my experience where I bought Choreium 3 years ago. I wasn't doing anything with it. It was losing value consistently, and I didn't realize why. And the reason is because I needed to stake it. I needed to put it on a validator, kind of like what you guys are talking about with bonding it. And I think that it was very nice from Chris from Choreium Concepts to walk me through that process. And to the last gentleman's point, the website that you guys are already talking about creating, I was also involved in the space. You guys discussed that. Fantastic idea. Looking forward to it as well. To have the tutorials, to have everything in one spot. And to answer your question, the reason they didn't do it was because the Web3 looked quite different then. It was a different season, and they were more focused on keeping people's privacy and not being sued or taken advantage of by different governments later. So they did it this way. Now they're at a point, or no, not them. Society is at a point of acceptance and building these governance and putting in rails and really focusing on the legislation portion of it. So that removed the fear from THORChain. So now they have the ability and willingness to create a web page and put a face forward, and still no KYC, which is amazing. And I did catch that on the last recording, what you called KYC. I died laughing. Know your customer is what it stands for. And the fact that you guys aren't going to require that, also known as kill your customer, right? Because some people that don't want the whole world to know how filthy, stinking rich they are, they want to have a little privacy. It's not necessarily a nefarious thing to want to maintain your security and privacy. So the fact that THORChain was forward thinking in that aspect, great for us. The fact that the government and governments around the world are now creating legislation to safeguard us is the reason why now is an opportunity that they can take advantage of and create that web page with the tutorials, with the how-tos, and really make it easier for guys like guys and girls like Zoge and Lady K, that Zoge's example, he has Mad Labs, one of the most community driven wallets out there. Zoge is a developer for the people, of the people, and the products that he is putting out literally for us to retain our information and money, to give us the same tools the big guys have, right? So if you guys aren't familiar with Zoge, please just follow him around. You don't even need to invest in his project. He'll give you his tools for free, no matter what your position on his project is. He hosts a space at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard every day and is willing, puts his face up there, his voice out there, willing to answer any questions and help you guys out. THORChain's ability to swap from any layer 1 into a layer 2 is going to be massively beneficial for guys like Zoge over at Mad Lab. The fact that you can earn a passive income providing infrastructure, massively beneficial for ladies like Lady K, people running infrastructure, people that are already, they already have internet, they already have computers, they already have power. Why not produce or create the ability to have passive income? And that is the integration that we're all talking about. So taking the fastest, cheapest blockchain out there and running it through THORChain so that the individuals providing infrastructure can benefit. Huge, guys. This is huge. Appreciate you guys all being here. If you have questions, send them to myself or put them in the purple pill below or request a microphone. Those are the three ways to get them answered.
So, and I have a question for you. So you mentioned you like the idea that THORChain is permissionless, no KYC. I'm curious with XRP, like forgive me if I'm getting something wrong, and you can correct me, but like isn't the whole push, the whole value proposition that it's going to replace SWIFT, and that and that's basically full bore KYC and permissioned. So is that like, do you see, yeah, is there a bit of a, like, how do you see that playing out? And is XRP more than just trying to replace SWIFT?
So there are other people that are more qualified to answer this, but I'll give you my opinion, and then we'll get Cookie up here. We'll get some other people's opinions on it. So Swift, what we are replacing with Swift is the expense. I think that Swift will adopt blockchain technology rather than die. So for those of you that don't know the difference, the Swift system is the traditional banking that you're used to now that takes 3 to 7 days for settlement, depending on the size of the transaction and where it's going. And blockchain takes that out. It doesn't matter the size and it doesn't matter where it's going. It's going to be at this expense, at least on the XRPL. It's direct competition. Swift is not going to die, right? They're not going to go away. They're going to adapt. Are we going to take part of that market? We already have. Absolutely. I think that maybe we should defer to Cookie for a more technical analysis of it, a breakdown. But that's my opinion on it. Go ahead, Cookie.
Lip had his hand up before me, and he's way more learned than I am. So yeah, go Lip first, and come back to me.
All right, well, I'll go right behind Cookie. Cookie's a financial advisor.
Everybody's respectful. I love all
I'll
of
toot my
you.
horn after him. Go ahead, Cookie.
So I kind of get the point Kenton was trying to convey. The XRPL is absolutely permissionless. Like, you can just spin up a node and add info as you see fit, and no one can stop you doing it. If you want to issue an asset on the XRPL, you can do it, and no one can stop you doing it. And once it's issued, it's under your control. Job done. The KYC part that's where you integrate into traditional TradFi systems and normal rails. And it's absolutely right that if you're going to integrate into mainstream finance, that there is KYC process in place, because you can't circumvent anti-money laundering guidelines and just general good business operations. DeFi absolutely has its place alongside that, but I think if you want to remain within the DeFi ecosystem, by all means stay within a non-KYC environment. But I think if you want to integrate into institutional or into real world money, there needs to be a step, and that's the KYC step in jumping into that world. That's the bit with crypto probably loses the most, is we're very, very much self-custody and want to avoid KYC where possible. But again, if you want to integrate on rails to the real world, unfortunately, there's someone that's carrying counterparty risk at that point, and they're fully within their rights to insist on KYC and source of funds.
So is this okay? So this is how I'm thinking about it now. So we have Ethereum that is permissionless. Anybody can do anything. And then on top of that, people create stable coins. And I have an account with Circle, and like the KYC is ridiculous with Circle. And I do that to get fiat in and out of stable coins, and those sit on top of Ethereum, which is permissionless. So with XRPL, you've got is like Ethereum, this permissionless blockchain, but then somebody's building a stable coin, lack of a better term, but like Swift is like the stable coins on top of XRPL. And so Swift will have its whatever you're competing with Swift, that'll have its KYC in this thing and whatever. But that's just being added on. Like, that isn't what XRPL is. That is just one small component on top of XRPL. Just like stable coins are one small component on top of Ethereum. Is that making that analogy right?
Yeah, it's kind of there. Like, the stablecoin issuers ultimately are holding one-for-one backed fiat. So they have the peg to the real world, and they have the requirement for KYC AML. Zoge just got his hand up as well, so obviously I would probably defer to Lip than Zoge as well, because Zoge would definitely be able to chip in on this one.
Ooh, I'm ready when y'all are. You said Doge right behind me?
Okay, go ahead, Zoge. Let's, and then we'll kick it to Lip.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty straightforward as far as decentralized, permissionless. I do whatever the hell I want on the XRP ledger, and people have tried to stop me. Flagged my accounts for doing airdrops, and I created a wallet and made it even more permissionless. And to be honest, there isn't anybody who could, even if they wanted to, attempt to stop me because nothing I do is illegal or immoral. But on that note, when we think in terms of KYC and verification, of course, that's going to happen in traditional finance settings and business to business relations. You know, of course, they're going to verify one another and select partners that aren't sending them fraud tokens or assets and things like that. So that can exist in the same ecosystem as, permissionless as it gets. Now, in some of the wallets, I'd say like Zaman, I mean, you have the option to KYC and stuff like that. It's all an option though. It's not mandatory. And if you're using something like MadLab that I made, then you're 100% anonymous. I mean, you don't even connect to a server for IP tracking. You just go to a validator directly, and nobody knows who the hell you are. So I would say it's incredibly anonymous and open to the people. And, it is just regular people like me, some others who build things to increase that. But it's like the roots of a tree. I mean, it depends what path you need as to which one you go down. So it's available.
See, guys, I told you they're cool. I told you they are cool. Okay. I like these guys. All right. I'm telling you, XRP people are absolutely based and awesome, and they share our ethos. I'm not making it up. I'm not kissing ass up here. Okay. It looks like Lip dropped. Eric, go ahead.
Dude, I kind of forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah. So Cookie. sorry. I was doing some stuff on Telegram, but I got my thought back. So Cookie, Stone, I'm thinking, and I know that this might derail a little bit the conversation, but I think that it's something that is worth speaking about. So XRP is probably the coin that most people, like normal people, hold. Like you get into a cab, the cab driver holds XRP. You go get a haircut, your barber holds XRP, like your neighbor. It's the people's coin, one could call it. Like, of course, the crypto Twitter culture, the spaces, the memes are big. But if you go outside, people don't know about all of these other coins. They know, I don't know, XRP, they know Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. So what would be a good, and they use a centralized exchange, right? Because they might be holding it for 5 years. So they had to go through centralized entities to get their XRP. So my question is, how can we bridge them to start using the XRPL? Like, because they might just hold it on their Binance wallet, for example. But how can we bridge them into using the XRPL and then finding out, hey, you can actually buy more XRP through THORChain instead of going through the KYC entity, etc. So how can we transition them into being like real XRPers and not just holders?
Zoge might have a different take on this, but I'm not sure if that was a very clever, shameless plug into your point of sale system or not, but that is definitely going to be one of the routes that we take. And my community that show up to Coffee and Crypto with Stone in particular are very interested in throwing on some Mocha t-shirts and going door to door to these businesses and onboarding them into your point of sale devices. Now, how do we get people to use it? So my barber doesn't use XRP. I know that because I've been talking to her for 4 years about getting involved. And it's not for lack of trying. XRP will become the coin that you refer to, but right now only like 2% of the planet is actually even knows the terminology or knows that cryptocurrencies exist. I think 4 years from now, What's going to happen in the next 4 years is a huge transition away from traditional finance into the digital world. And that's all being put in place like the Genius Act that got signed yesterday. So everybody around the planet, whether you like America or not, you understand or you can see that America leads the way. When we transition into something, when we move towards something, the world follows. We're the world's biggest trendsetter. And once we trend towards holding XRP, it'll be up to us onboarding businesses, creating or allowing them or educating them to use devices that let us use our wallets, like Mad Labs. I think we're a couple of years away from it, but that's just because us, the people in this room, the people listening to this recording, we have not onboarded the world. It's going to be a slow rollout of these point of sale devices, connecting to these different business owners, making them understand how much money they can save by switching over to a Web3 based point of sale system, putting money back into their pockets, putting money into our pockets. And if your project leads or you're doing this with your community and you're convincing your community to take those passive incomes and put back into your project, that's how we grow Web3. And that's how XRP Ledger grows past these other chains that got that head start. Yes, XRP's been around for 13 years, but we didn't have the same start, and everybody knows that. We were the number one, and then we went into a lawsuit. We got busted down. We were held down and oppressed. We were held down and oppressed for a very specific reason. A power greater than us wanted us all to get onboarded at a price point that allowed us to be where we are today. So everything happens for a reason. And Eric, that question was given to me for a reason, and that's to introduce these point of sale devices and how XRP is the coin of choice and is the people's coin that the barber's using, that the lady at the cash register is using, that you're using. Absolutely.
I think that's great. And so someone asked earlier about having THORChain having its own interface, and I'm not going to go down that route, but like just like how Stone and Eric said, like how do you on ramp the masses? Is you have to start using these assets in the real world. Like right now, THORChain is a swap, right? You just go point A to point B, and people who are in crypto, they do that. But now we're going to transition into people actually using these assets for real world stuff, right? And so one thing I wanted to pitch, and I've been talking with Stone, and Stone's really excited about this in Zoge. We are having something called Memoless swaps coming. And Pragmatic Monkey, I know you might be busy. If you can grab a mic, that'd be great. But no worries if you can, because I'd like you to meet. But so Memoless swap, guys, basically what we want to do is we want to make it as simple and as easy to make a swap as possible. It doesn't require any wallet support. Any wallet that you have, you can use this for whatever it's a Zaman, Joey wallet, or whatever you use. Okay. And so what we want now only is, like we talked about, a specific interface for THORChain. I would love it. And this is why I encourage the devs on THORChain to give you your own interface that you can go to your own community. Because the reason why I alluded to all their charity work and altruism in the space that crashed before is that they actually do things in the real world already, despite the horrific technical limitations of blockchain as it sits right now. Let's empower these people to offer layer one swaps and to get money for, and that's no longer being abstracted away in the margin captured by centralized exchanges. I want to give these wonderful people the tools, and they're ready to go. And that's what I'm saying, guys, because everyone wants more swap volume on THORChain so we can continue to scale the network, get more node operators and things like that. Give me that capability, give them that capability, and we're going to push this thing to the max. Because I know, Stone, I mean, if you want to speak about this, you can. You are really interested in that for your own use and purposes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to have it put onto my consulting website as well so that people can swap into what I need them to pay with right there and they're not leaving my website. You guys, if your hand was up before, please drop it down and bring it back up. I know Moon Man's hand was up, but my screen reset. So no hands. All right, I see him up now. Go ahead, Moon Man, and then we'll go to Zoge.
Hey guys, first of all, thank you guys for letting me up. extremely important for XRPL to get the light that it deserves. I believe that is extremely political, the reason why the XRPL hasn't been adopted. And we all know, especially in the XRPL community, we know, we've been watching the videos, we do deep dives, we really dig deep in blockchain just in general, not just any chain specifically. We know about XRPL, we know about Cardano, we know about HBAR and XDC, but for the most part, more than anything, we know about the XRPL. And it's truly permissionless. And I really want to give you guys a lot of love and shout you guys out for being some of the first to really adopt this, because a lot of people are really, I don't like to use this word, but brainwashed when it comes to the media projecting this energy and air of mystery when it comes to XRP, but when it comes to Ethereum and Bitcoin, it's just like, oh, they're so amazing. And don't get me wrong, I want everyone to win, but I want it to be fair. And when it comes to this blockchain and the technology that XRP is exuding, it's not fair. And now I feel like people are realizing it due to price action, but a lot of us have been here learning about the technology and realized how brilliant it is in regards to the entirety of the financial system.
Yes, absolutely. Nailed it. Go ahead, Zoge, and then we're going to go over to Coke.
Yeah, I'm all for setting up nodes and validators and that kind of stuff. I mean, I got 2 Ripple Ds running for some of the utilities that I have for the XRPL, and MadLab needs that kind of stuff, the WSS connections. Part of the problem with the XRPL, especially for solo devs like myself, if you applied for a Ripple grant and didn't get one, like myself, building is hard. Spent years here since 2021, and I've only managed to lose money and work my ass off. I'm halfway dressed and getting ready to go to my regular job right now while in a space on 4 hours of sleep. And this is because I've made 2 XRP in a month off of MadLab, off of donations, because I refuse to engage in predatory activities on blockchain. And it's just been a hard journey. And I would say that it would be nice to be able to set up infrastructure and have, some kind of legitimate value added back in to pay for it. The problem I always have is I'm underfunded and overworked and that kind of stuff. So it's very difficult to build in the XRPL. It's always been taken a long time, and a lot of knowledge and learning curve with that. But for the most part, I don't make anything, and I haven't made very much, as far as I just poured in money and it goes down. But I like the idea of being able to set up infrastructure that makes money. And since we lack that, because the ethos on XRPL is, you set up the infrastructure and no incentive is the best incentive, but it's also incredibly hard, right? I mean, that's really tough unless you have a lot of asset and you can invest for a long time. But for regular people trying to build it, it definitely makes things difficult. So with that, I think it would be great if we could, set up some, and it's an incentive for the XRPL, and it does assist on THORChain to actually be able to set up something that does generate some revenue and mutually beneficial. I know it depends on how you look at it. Some people may be like, oh, but we don't want the money to leave the ecosystem. But people that become that integrated tend to care for multiple things. It's not like you dislike one of your children when you have another one. The idea is that we're aiming for interoperability, and that comes from collaborations, teamwork, and integration. Integration isn't just that we support for you, but we're actually a part of the things that we engage in.
Yeah, like
Zoge,
money can flow into Ripple, right? Just as easily, which I think is more important. Or sorry, into XRP. And same with like an existing XRP holder, not everybody wants to hodl for their whole lives, right? Maybe they want to sell on some highs, buys on some dips. Well, now they're accumulating more XRP. And so it's, having THORChain support XRP makes that possible for literally anyone on the planet. So they don't have to go through KYC with a centralized exchange or anything like that. THORChain opens the door for anyone and everyone to acquire XRP. So, which I think is way more beneficial than the potential of people leaving. I think it opens a much bigger door for people to add.
Right. Back in 2021, for the XRP people who don't know this, one of our core developers, Chad Bareford, he had a space, and this is when the SEC really came after you guys. And the thing he said was, if only we had XRP on THORChain, they would not care. It would not matter. You'd be unaffected because people would still have access permissionlessly to your asset, and the government was trying to choke you guys out. Well, now you guys never have to worry about that again. And to Kenton's point, it's absolutely true. Because remember, I don't know if you guys saw the beginning of the space, the one that THORChain doesn't sell you anything. We don't care if you hold Rune or not. That's not the point. We are gifting you the ability for people to go into XRP permissionlessly. You do not need permission. You do not centralized things. You do not need KYC. If you want freedom, if you want to have access to XRP, you should be able to do that. And so, like what I was saying earlier, we got to empower these guys. Like Zoge is an incredible builder, and he shares our ethos. We are one and the same. I want to empower this guy. I don't want him to be 4 hours of sleep and go to his 9 to 5 all ragged and tired and exhausted. Give this guy the ability to earn some margin for his hard work. That's what THORChain does. It empowers you guys, and you guys empower us by giving us swap volume as well. There's no one being siphoned here. It is the best relationship. And that's why I have Pragmatic. Please reach out to Pragmatic Monkey. He's busy, guys. I don't want to put pressure to come on the stage, but any builders, please reach out to Zoge right now. DM him. Let's get this relationship building starting immediately, because the things that we're building together, especially with Eric and Mocha and other things that are going to come, it's incredible. You guys got to look into Riraa. Anyway, I'll kick it back to Stones.
Hey, before we go to with the Coke, I just want to say to Zoge, I know what it feels like to work your ass off for free, and your payment is in community, just like mine, and it's been great. But I want you to know, and on this recorded space, it's not recorded. I just realized you guys should have recorded this space, by the way.
Coke is recording it, I think.
Okay, I just want everybody to know, if for some reason X meme shoots to the freaking moon, I'll rotate profits through to build up Zoge as well. Like, you are one person, there's a lot of you guys actually, but you're one of these people that will not be left behind. Your efforts are completely noticed throughout the ledger. You're loved by all the right people, and that's all the community members. You're hated by all the right people, and that's the people that have denied your grants and fudded your bags. You're doing everything right. You have so much support here that I don't even think you realize. Like, the reason you have the ability to grind and work on 2-3 hours of sleep a week is because of all the love from the XRP ledger that is fueling you, whether you realize it or not. We need you and we support you. And anybody out there that's not already following Zoge or holding a small bag, please do so. This is not financial advice. This is community advice. This is a developer that's in the ledger building for us and takes our input. If you DM him with something that you found wrong, he fixes it right away, or when he can. He is a one-man show, and he provides solutions that we come up with all the time. We wanted access to the ledger without having a bot come in and front run our purchases. He did that. He built it, and then he gave it to you for free. So I know you never asked for donations, but this might be a good space to drop your donation wallet, and maybe a couple of people will send you an XRP or two. Just throwing that out there. All right, let's go to With the Coke, and then we'll follow up with Cookie.
Yeah, hey guys. Yeah, I'm recording. As long as we don't have a nationwide blackout in Spain again. So yeah, also I'm not a THORChain intern, but I'm really passionate about the community. So I'm trying to tackle a player and THORChain everything. And I know Patriot, you said you don't want to have a pragmatic monkey on the stage, but I have a question from pragmatic monkey, and it's a good one actually. So as you know, we are going to have those memoless transactions. So as far as I know, how it works is that you will construct the transaction, you will just have the QR code, and you will send the money, and it will initiate a swap for you. My question for pragmatic monkey is that is it possible to have DeFi actions without connecting your wallets to the front ends? That seems like a really safe way to get some loans or whatever DeFi transactions we want to have in the future, just with the send action. Is it possible, or I'm a little bit delulu? I'm just curious. It would make so much sense, not connecting your wallet to do DeFi as well.
I'm not a developer, so I'm not the one to speak on this. But as far as I understand, the memo is being crafted right when you use a QR code. So I would think there's more utility there, but again, that's beyond my understanding. So hopefully, pragmatic monkey.
Yeah, I was hoping. Yeah, exactly, from pragmatic monkey
Hey guys,
from you. So
can you hear
I
me?
hope it.
Hey,
Yes,
there
we
he
can.
is.
Let's go.
I hope my
Yeah.
question makes sense.
Yeah. So it kind of, I'm not sure I got it to the end, but yeah, you were asking just about if we could do with Memoless actions, DeFi on the app layer effectively without a memo. That's your question, right?
So we can, at the moment, we are aiming to have the memoless swaps, right, in THORChain. Can we do any other actions without connecting our wallets as well, like in DeFi or something? It would be awesome. A lot of people don't want to use their connect their wallets to front end to get trained or anything. Imagine with just a simple send, we could like get a loan or anything. Is it possible even in technically, or what's your?
So honestly, that would be a more question for Hans than for me. But we have I haven't dig yet into what it's enable for us. But I think so. Yeah, like if I need to check. But if effectively if you can trigger from there a swap, there is no reason that you cannot trigger any other action on the app layer. So yeah, it should be possible. So it should also be a big unlock for us to allow easier interaction with the entirety of the smart contract stack.
Guys, you heard it
There,
first here.
there might be.
You heard it
Yes,
first here.
there.
It's going to be DeFi without connecting your wallet from THORChain,
Yeah,
guys.
Don't take it for like.
We're taking it. We're taking it as literal.
We will.
Guys, please. Let's let's not put the cart before the horse.
Of course.
But no,
Pragmatic. I think it can be done through routing, because if there's not going to be a memo, like the validators and the protocol reads the memo and then it knows what to do with it. But through routing, I mean, of course, like Hans is the wizard here, but I think it could be done. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it should be possible. Like we could have a contract with a sort of registry with different actions that allows you to do XYZ. Honestly, I think it must be possible, but yeah, let's not take don't take that as a definitely yes, but very likely. And just I wanted to touch also on it was Zoge earlier was telling like about the struggle of building without funding and trying to find monetization. So it's still a bit early for us, like on the app layer side, but eventually we are also going to provide tools to make it easy for anyone to integrate with our apps and build on top of those core apps. And then if you have an audience and you are talking about like you have a front end, I think a site, a consulting site, we will be able to allow you to add feature beyond just doing cross-chain swap, which is what the THORChain base layer does, and so that's coming as well, and hopefully it can help you to generate some income and and be able to have a bit more of a comfortable life. And we will have that, and we'll also be building like a affiliates plus a referral fee model. So you can also like eventually the vision is to be able to drive to get a cut. The referral part is particularly good because you don't have to charge on top of your existing user, contrary to how the affiliate model work with THORChain currently. With the referral model, you will be taking a cut like 10% of protocol revenue on the protocol side, which means that you can offer the same service to your user at the end, but just as a way of supporting you because they appreciate you. You will be able to effectively register an affiliate. They will be able to register an affiliate code that is linked to you in their account, and every time they do stuff on the app layer, either via your own front end, your own website, or if they use the main front end, you can get a cut of that. So that's also something that hopefully will help drive traffic by allowing people to have a vested interest in promoting the products, and allow people who actually have this capability to earn a bit of a living with that. So that's the vision. We are still like I know everybody gets excited on the space and asks a lot of questions. We are still in the very early stage, so I have to put this disclaimer. Like we are just rolling out the first core app. There's still ton to do, things to do. Also at the base layer, we are still making some changes. Stuff like on the infra side, on the API side, on the wallet connection side, like still like a lot of moving pieces. But this is all coming. Like we have a few apps live now, and it's gonna be more and more. But we just need to, little by little, nail down those big building block. And in a year from now, like there will be a lot more toolings and avenue for people to monetize their work and their capability to generate traffic. So this is coming.
I don't know, Kenton, I'm sorry, your hand's glitching for me. I don't know if, but I'm just going to quickly interject here. This is great, Zoge. Like this is the moment where hard work meets opportunity. This is the definition of luck, right? This is why I'm so excited for THORChain for XRP, is that it's going to give you the capability now to do this. And for any Rujiran THORChat out there, I throw my personal reputation behind these individuals, people like Stone, Lady K, Zoge, wonderful, hardworking individuals, and they slot very nicely into this community. I'll drop it there.
And maybe just on one more thing for Lady X, I haven't talked to you directly yet. I DM'd you though, but Patriot told me you run a trading bot. So on that front, we will have also some, like we are working on some interesting stuff that could come earlier than the referral model and all those things. And effectively, you will have for any strategy builder, we want to provide a vault infrastructure. And we are working with the Riraa guys on that. And that will allow you, like if you have bots that are profitable, so you will be able to effectively just spin out easily a vault, allowing anybody to come and deposit pool capital in this vault while it remains non-custodial. So you don't need a license and being like in TradFi, like having the right to custody money for third party. It will always remain non-custodial, but you will have an API key that allow you to control, to do a certain set of predefined action in the vault, including, like, for example, trading XRP on Ruji Trade Order Book or on the Perps platform. And then you can implement your trading logic. And we'll also provide tools to make that easy. And you just have to focus on the trading logic. And you allow people to piggyback effectively on what you are doing in a fully decentralized way, fully non-custodial. People remain in control of their assets, but you say follow your lead on when to buy and sell. It's all happening automatically. And then you can set a management fee and a performance fee, and it's up to you. You will have like a certain range into which you can do that. And that will allow you to monetize and scale a strategy that you may be running profitably for yourself now, and allow the community to benefit from that. That's also another way, if you are a strategist and you have like profitable strategies. Of course, there's always a question of how much that can scale without becoming non-profitable, but surely you can probably put a bit more capital, and that's another way to also make yeah, just generate some income for yourself.
I think you might be that's Lady K. You might be confusing that with Lady Deb. I don't know if Lady K does bots, but I let you go because I'm going to try and clip that. No, thank you so much for saying that. So I'm going to clip that and then or with the Coke, if you would clip that, please, and send that to me. I'm going to forward that to them so they can see that. So thank you so much for saying that.
Lady
my
K
bad,
does.
sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good.
Oh, she
You're
does.
good.
I'm sorry. Awesome.
Lady K runs a trading bot. I run one. A lot of community members run them. Pragmatic, I sent you a DM. I know of a couple individuals that are building them. I know some people that have already have some built. So if you, it doesn't sound like you need any help, but once you're done, if you need some help marketing it, I absolutely have a community for that. And
that's great. Like, not so much for, I mean, marketing as well, of course, but once we will have the framework in place, yeah, let's definitely connect. And if you have like strategists that want to explore that, I think that's the way to go. It will be a great, it's a great way to bridge between our two communities and offer people a different way to put their asset at works. And if you are from the XRP community, you may want to have a trading bot that only focus on trading XRP versus USDC or XRP versus Bitcoin, for example, and that can be strategies for the XRP community providing that. So it makes a ton of sense.
Personally, the one I'm running now that is on pause is on XRP RLUSD. So XRP against a stable coin. But yes, absolutely looking forward to that for sure. Kenton, if your hand is stuck, all you have to do is click on the heart and put your hand up again and bring it down. There you go.
Yeah, it's not stuck. I just wanted to actually bring it back to Zoge and just ask him more about Mad Labs. Like pitch us on your product. Like what is it? How does it work? Why should people use it? What can it do? Give us a commercial.
Briefly, what it does is it services as a wallet for people, and in that wallet you can access the liquidity pools and the AMM on chain. I'm sorry if I'm breaking up, guys. I'm driving. I'm headed to Home Depot to get some tools, but yeah, MadLab is it saves people XRP on transaction fees. Most of the swap sites or tools have a fee on them. I don't really, like I said, I don't believe in the engagement of forcing on those things. And I understand for network support and stuff like that, these are very normal processes. For forward-facing infrastructure to communities, directly trying to interact with the assets on chain, I don't think that harvesting them is the right way. And so, yeah, it just bypasses the trading fees that are above the AMM fees that already exist on the ledger. So the pools themselves have trading fees. The people who support the project, they have liquidity in it. So that's fantastic. Adding more fees on top of that's a really big deal. If the AMM pool has 1% on it, and then a site puts 1% on top of that, that makes it a 2%. You have to do 2 trades in and out, 2% on your total. That's then 4%. 4% of your trade if it's $1,000, and you're only trying to trade a 5% win. You basically just handed 80% of that off to fees. Like, how are you winning in that ecosystem? It's suffocation. And 1% quickly became 20% once you actually realize it's off the total. So MadLab bypasses fees. It does it on the AMM. I didn't put any in the THORChain swaps, and it also doesn't have wallet fees like Zaman. The reason people use it is because it is as secure as a paper wallet. It's more secure than hardware wallets, software wallets. It's anonymous. It talks only to Ripple Ds, and you can set up your own, talk to your own. There isn't a wallet that I know of that is as fully open, transparent, full code available, modifiable, malleable in every way, shape, and form, while also keeping you completely anonymous. It works like a paper wallet at the same time. third-party analysis is hard to get on, no money. So I've had Grok go through and I posted the full review of comparison to MetaMask, etc. Basically all the hardware wallets, all the software wallets out there, just in terms of security. According to Grok and my own analysis on it, MATLAB is superior. For encryption, I went with Argon 2, dual AES GCM locks under that Argon 2 shell. String 1 and string 2 for the passwords are the string for the Argon, which makes it incredibly long, which makes it incredibly impossible. And if you haven't heard of Argon 2, it's because nobody's using it, but you should have, because it won the industry multiple times, all the awards. It's been the industry top tier standard for a decade. It is a superior encryption model, and having a password schema like the one I just described, it basically means that it's easy to get a 16 character in your password. 2 smaller passwords are easier to remember. That triple lock is basically impregnable because it's just unbrute forceable, rainbow table, or dictionary attackable. And that's because Argon 2 is incredibly memory intensive. So a 16 string, if you had a dual 8, is going to be billions of years for all the compute on the planet. Far more encrypted than your Bitcoin wallet file or anything like that. So security, have it locked down, of course, in memory. It's also Argon 2'd and shifts address and triple overwrites and lets the garbage cleaner get that out of there. So I've done the best I can with it and given out for free. And I hope over time it grows. And the only profit model for me in it is ensuring that people are profitable and then having a donation on there. And it'll do what it does. And I do updates for it. But in a nutshell, being anonymous, being able to switch servers, blackout protection, black swan protection, access, like you can't be blocked with MATLAB, because if the only thing that can stop it is the ledger itself going down. The ledger itself would have to stop, but then nobody's trading, so it's irrelevant, right? At any point, someone can put up their own WSS, and it can operate with a Clio, a stripped down server that doesn't have a history or anything. It can operate in the smallest conditions for a Ripple D. It self-signs its transactions internally and then sends it over a WSS. So the connection's encrypted. The blobs are signed internally in MATLAB using the XRP library, which makes them secure blobs. So even if you were to intercept the blobs themselves contain no relevant data. It's a fortress inside of a fortress and a house of mirrors. And yeah, I'm proud of it, and I hope it catches on over time. I think it will, just because people want anonymous access to crypto, and they have a right to their privacy, their property, and what they've earned. So yeah, that's kind of MATLAB.
Said all the right
Oh,
stuff.
wow, right on.
Enjoy that
Is-
Home Depot run. If you guys want to support Zoge and use his free stuff, the best way, because he very rarely takes donations and still hasn't posted his donation wallet, hold a bag of Zoge. Just hold a bag of Zoge. And that token is also used to fuel his Legion bot, which is a volume bot for the XRPL that helps avoid the arbitrage bots. So Zoge, if you're not going to post your donation wallet, everybody just navigate to the ledger and hold a bag of Zoge. Sorry for cutting you off, Kenton. Go ahead.
No, I just had a follow-up question. He mentioned the fees on liquidity pools. Are you talking about THORChain's liquidity pools, or are you talking about pools on XRPL? And if it is XRPL, just what is the DEX there?
Yeah, so I mean, you can set, and I don't mess with the trying to attack or anything, the fees on chain. The liquidity pools are on chain on XRP. Those liquidity pools, the community can vote. The liquidity providers can vote for a percentage, 0 to 1%. I'm 100% okay with that. Those people are backing the project, they're putting up their money, etc. And even if I wanted to bypass those, there's not a way. That's not a thing. However, it's the the infrastructure that's set up, a lot of it has fees on it, all the way to, you know, like Zom and Wallet even has fees on it. They've turned an ecosystem that's damn near free to swap into one that can be more expensive at times than Ethereum. And I'm not an advocate of it, and I think it's harmful. And I know that, you know, any kind of centralized infrastructure requires funding and people putting hardware up and that kind of stuff. I'm just you know, trying to build stuff that is more decentralized, more open, more available, and it doesn't crash or break when a million users start using it. An infinitely scalable option that's free and available to all is MadLab, because at any time anybody can go to Quick Nodes, do 5 clicks, I believe it is, and you have a WSS set up you can connect to MadLab to, and it's free. So your own private connection right to the ledger. But no, I'm more about you know, just trying to reduce fees and get people as much ability as they can to access the ledger and avoid that kind of stuff.
So I'm just thinking, like, if XRPL has its own liquidity pools and THORChain has its own liquidity pools, like we need DEX aggregation, right? So that traders and users can go between the two, and that sounds like an opportunity for Mad Labs. You know, if you can DEX aggregate between the two different pools and get users there, that'd be huge for you.
Do you guys have on-chain pools on THORChain?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yep.
Okay, because I don't like I've been in Algorand, I've been in HBAR, I've been all around, and I haven't found another chain that has actual on-chain pools for its assets that people can interact with without anybody else's activity. So as far as I know, aside from THORChain, there isn't any, and I've literally just learned that THORChain has liquidity pools on chain and it's managed by the blockchain itself. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That's how I interpret what you told me. That's correct, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's like the whole innovation with THORChain. That's the 0 to 1. Is that like the XRP pool is sitting on XRPL. So like the THORChain node operator, the THORChain nodes, it's just a giant multi-sig wallet, basically an 80 of 120, if you will, and that controls the private keys to that XRPL address, and then that's where the pools are. So you can, yeah, when you buy or sell into the XRP pool on THORChain, that's layer 1 native real XRP. And, you know, there's no wrapping, there's no bridging, nothing like that.
And that was extremely hard to pull off, man. Like super, super hard to pull off to get to that point. And Zoge, you know, you're an absolute winner, man. You're building this really cool stuff. I really want you to reach out, you know, Riraa, maybe reach out to THORChain, because I know you wanna basically make things that emancipate the most amount of people that you can. And that's great. You know, but the thing with THORChain and Riraa, you can charge very little fees, like 1, 2, 3 basis points, like hardly nothing at all. I think Mad Labs having at least some revenue, I hope. I mean, I'm not saying you're anti-revenue or something, but I do want you to make money, because you're the kind of builder that I want just building all the time. You see what I'm saying? Because what your ethos is exactly what we need for not just THORChain, for XRP, for the world. Okay, so I'm really hoping when you reach out to Pregnant, there's a lot of things you can do. Kenton just came up with a really good idea there. I just hope you embrace that idea of just making at least a little something, so that maybe this is something where you don't have to, you know, you can do this all the time. Because you don't do this because you're not passionate. You know what I mean? You're doing this because you really give a shit. And we're here to empower you, man. And when you're empowered, that's good for us too. It's just mutually symbiotic relationship.
Hey, let's go to Cookie's hand.
I'll be brief. We put our money where our mouth is, so there's a reason that my project holds like $4,000 worth of Zoge's token in our treasury, because we firmly believe in it. Brad, our lead dev on the tech side of things, absolutely is a massive advocate of Mad Labs, and some of the tech that we've used from Mad Labs has really helped us grow our project. I really want to get to a stage where we, like, Mad Labs is open source, so I know that we can just take what we need. I'm of the mind and of the opinion that I'm absolutely happy to pay for that, and having white label services for Mad Labs products would absolutely be where I would be sat on it. And I'd love to discuss that like properly down the line at some stage, because I just want to be able to reskin the Mad Labs wallet and make it look on brand with my project and give it out to my my client base, because the product's great. And then just to be able to deliver that in a manner that my community can resonate with is absolutely on point, and it gets the developer paid. I know I can do that already with Mad Labs because I can just take the code and do it myself, but I don't want to. I want to be able to pay the people that have actually built that shit, and have it tied directly back to the product they've offered.
I'd like to piggyback on that as well. And Zoge, he has been always against fees, right? Trying to do it, of the people for the people. And I see that he just dropped out, but I'm of the same mind. Once you can create the ability for me to onboard through Mad Labs and make it a streamlined process, that'll be part of my consulting. And if you ever got to the point where you didn't have to go work that 401k job for the man, and you could just stay home and be an independent builder, then when people come into my consulting looking for things built, I could just direct them to you because I know that you're not overworked. So we need to free Zoge. We need to start a campaign, free the red panda.
Free the panda. On the subject of THORChain pools, like, am I right in thinking you guys like for a pairing, there's just a singular pool on chain? There's not multiple pools on chain for, let's say, XRPR or USD. You just have the one pool, same as XRPL.
That's right. Yeah, it's just one XRP pool. All the pools on THORChain are paired with Rune. And that's what's different than, say, Uniswap, where you have like thousands of different pairs, and you get the liquidity gets spread really thin, right? Because you have whatever, it's like 1,000 pick two or 1,000 choose two, however many combinations that is, right? It just gets crazy. Whereas on THORChain, you have every pool is paired with Rune. So the Bitcoin pool, the Ethereum pool, the XRP pool can get really deep, which means the deeper it is, the bigger it is, the cheaper it is to trade. The spread gets shorter, and like THORChain has about, I don't know, maybe 30 different pools. But most importantly, it's like 10 different blockchains, and this is why I brought up DEX aggregation. So with DEX aggregation, what that means is XRP is now able to be traded with like literally 10,000 other cryptocurrencies. And so, the pessimist will see that and think, oh, everyone's going to sell XRP to go these other 10,000. The optimist will see that. It's like, wait a second, we just open up an audience of 10,000 new token holders who can buy XRP, right? And so, it goes both ways. And so, with DEX aggregation, it opens the floodgates to anybody and everybody to be able to come buy XRP, which didn't exist before THORChain. You guys are stuck on centralized exchanges like Binance. I think has maybe 800 tokens. THORChain has access to over 8,000. So when you include DEX aggregation, it gets the audience it's literally unlimited. It's basically the entire world. So it's pretty cool.
I'd be interested to see how that plugs into the XRPL with the way that the native DEX works with pathfinding. That's game changing, like absolutely game changing when it comes to doing swaps, because you can go the path isn't necessarily linear for a swap on XRPL. Like you can hop because the DEX natively figures it out, like the ledger figures out that path for you, which is what's the lowest cost route. Is it via order book? Is it via AMM? Is it via a hop, via an AMM pool? So having like asset to asset paired, like again on chain here, I can pair my token farm with Stone's token X meme in a pool, and no one else can create another pool of that, which can create ARB opportunities as well.
This is why I'm so excited for this space, because I wanted the builders to get into contact. So let's do a little call of action here, guys. Please share this space. If you have someone that's building on the XRPL, they need to hear this. Please send them Pragmatic Monkey's contact information. When the recording of this space comes out, with the code's going to post it, of course. Please get them the recording of this. I'll make sure Stone and many other people get it. We got to come together and just start building, because when I came on the XRP spaces initially, it's always so funny, because I think when people are trying to tell someone, it's like, do you really mean what you say? Are you full of BS? Like no, like my excitement is just like, man, the things that we're going to build together is so incredible. And it's so exciting. I mean, it literally makes everyone stronger and better in both ecosystems. Pragmatic Monkey, I think your hand was up first. Go ahead.
Thanks, guys. I'm gonna have to leave in not too long, but I just wanted to take the opportunity to have people from the XRP community to ask just two questions, because it's super nice for me to be able to connect a bit with you and build some bridges, because we are all otherwise a bit isolated communities. And so I wanted to just understand first, how actually do you get normally your XRP? I guess the answer is centralized exchange, but I would like to hear a few experiences, and if centralized exchange, which one you use mostly. And then a second question is, what do you do with your XRP? Because as far as I know, there is no smart contract on the XRP chain, so it means there is no app layer. So just curious to understand what you do with that, and I can tell you a bit more about what we are going to enable in the future for XRP with Riraa.
Well, me personally, I started out on Uphold in, I want to say it was 2018. And I then purchased on a couple other exchanges until they decided that that wasn't going to be a thing in America. All the central exchanges pulled XRP from their listing except for Uphold. And ever since then, I've been exclusively buying my XRP through Uphold up until the Joey wallet came out. So that was probably I don't know, 5 or 6 years of just using Uphold. And then when the Joey wallet came out, they have an onboarding through MoonPay. I utilize that with a couple of wallets. But mostly after I've purchased the XRP, I use it to invest in layer 2 projects. Other than, of course, keeping a bag off to the side, which I suggest everybody do. XRP is the future of finance. XRP, to me, is the #1 digital asset in the world that we should hold and is going to grow. That being said, I believe in everything that's being built for the future of finance. It's my hope that the XRP ledger will be the forefront in the future of anything that transacts digitally. So guys like Zoge and guys like Cookie behind the Farmers Union, I support them and their projects, the efforts that they do using my XRP. I'll put it into their layer 2, or I'll send it as a donation.
Thanks. Super helpful to hear that. And so when you say you invest in, I'm sorry, like this is you educating me on XRP. But when you say so investing into XRP layer 2s, so I did not know actually that XRP has layer 2. So can you just tell me a bit more about what are
Yes.
those layer 2? Are they like dedicated app, like each L2 is an app, or are they like all generalistic smart contract platform where everybody, each try to compete with the other? What's the vision here?
It depends on what you're looking for. So there are a couple of utility projects out there like Helvetics, X Trend. You have Dom from Merch. They don't use smart contracts. They'll use the token itself or an NFT to do different functions. I could give a list of the ones that I personally support, but I don't know if you want to turn this space into that. Come to Coffee and Crypto with Stone and you'll meet a whole bunch of them. Layer 2 projects come up every single day and talk about what they're working on, the communities they're building, whether they're writing a book that is an educational series for children, like Uga Tiger down there in the audience. Shout out to Xmojis, available on Amazon. I will turn this into a shield space real quick for all these projects, so you're going to have to throttle me back. But that's how I do it. Yeah.
Okay, no, it's super interesting. No, okay, so what you call layer twos are actually individual project building on top of XRP, but there is no smart contract. Okay.
Yes, that's. Am I saying it wrong? Is it not a layer 2 because it's not under a smart contract? That's just the
Well,
terminology that I'm familiar with.
yeah, I guess each ecosystem has its own terminology, and that's why so I was asking. A layer 2 is, by definition, something that inherits the security of the layer 1, but it's a chain on its own. So I'm not sure if they are layer 2 or not, because I'm not sure how it works. But at least if they are secured by a XRP validator, and they are their own independent chain, then maybe you can call them layer 2, or it depends what the tech stack is. I'm not sure without smart contract how this is built. So, but yeah, and in any case, now I understand what you mean. What you call layer 2 are more like a project on top of XRP.
Yes, that's what I've been referring to as a layer 2 project on the XRPL. Zoge, is there a better term I should use? What would you call them? What would the Zoge Legion bot
Yeah.
be? You know, would it not be a layer 2 off of the parent, which is XRP?
Right. So a lot of times we call them L2 for brevity and we're just short with it. But in all honesty, I mean, they are technically called IOUs or issued assets. And I hope you can hear me because I'm inside the fortress of Home Depot. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't want to put you under that pressure. You go ahead and pick out the right tools. I understand what it's like for an adult male to be inside of a Home Depot or a Lowe's surrounded by all those shiny tools. So you go ahead and stay focused on your happy place
Oh
for now.
no, it's just loud in here. It's all they got fans running and it's like a metal cage roof, which always disrupts signal. But no, I got what I need and I'm gonna get out to a job site and take care of something. But yeah, they're actually, like I said, they're issued assets or IOUs, and I hate the term IOU because it implies, something which isn't necessarily true. Like in the case of Zoge, it's still an IOU even though it was airdropped for free. So we started at zero value, and it matures from there. So I don't know who is owed, but yeah, it's weird.
Right
Okay,
on.
and so it's effectively mostly a token of a project that you call layer 2. Effectively, it's not actually a tech stack with a blockchain with all sorts of complex logics that is on chain.
Yeah, we don't like to do
Yes,
complex.
there's no layer
We
2.
don't like to do complex here. We're pretty simple. Simple, low fee, real fast,
Okay, yeah, no, but it's important because it's changed completely the meaning of things. Like, I thought you had already effectively had an app layer with all things that we are doing on Riraa. But it's interesting because then that means we are gonna really expand the capability of what you can do with your XRP. Effectively, so what we are doing, so as Kenton was saying, the beauty of THORChain is that it acts as this hub that allows to connect all those chains like XRP, without needing a centralized intermediary that's going to wrap your asset and issue it on another chain, or using a third-party bridge that had an extra layer of exogenous risk. So it's a very powerful technology. And at Riraa, what we do is we added smart contract capabilities on top of THORChain, and we can build all those more fancy apps. And so effectively, things that it will open up the field of what you can do with your XRP. So for example, instead of trading, if you trade on a centralized exchange, usually you like to trade with an order book. Now with Rogi Trades, it's a 100% on-chain order book DEX. You will be able to trade your native XRP in the form of secured assets, secured by THORChain, in an order book, but without any intermediaries, any centralized intermediaries. You'll be able to use your XRPs to provide liquidity to become a market maker in some pool with, for example, USDC, if you want to be paired with a stable coin or any other assets that are available on THORChain. We can be very flexible with that. And you can become a market maker and effectively bet on the volatility of XRP against another token, or hedge your downside exposure if you pair it with stable coins, and start to earn a yield by providing liquidity. You will also be able to use your XRP as collateral on the Perps platform. So that's not enabled yet, but if we wanted to, if there was demand for that, we could allow you to create markets where you deposit XRP as collateral, and then you can start to trade on leverage, take a 50x short Bitcoin because you believe XRP is going to outperform, and your asset will go up. You don't lose any of your collateral. You don't have to sell, and the value of your collateral will go up as your bet is correct, or you get liquidated if you get it wrong. But you will be able to do that again just on chain without intermediaries and KYC and all those things. And maybe there are many more stuff, but a very interesting use case, which is what DeFi is mostly used for, I would say, is borrowing. So fundamentally, if you believe in crypto and if you are long an asset like XRP, what your underlying thesis is usually that fiat money is going to be overinflated in the mid to long term, and the value of your scaled asset will mechanically appreciate as we keep increasing the quantity of fiat money and therefore the quantity of debt in our system. And so a very good way. So therefore, you don't want to sell your XRP, but you still need to finance your everyday cost of life. And a great way to do that is to use your XRP as collateral and borrow USDC or whatever stable coin against it. And that way, like, you are effectively, you don't have to sell your XRP to access this liquidity, unlock this liquidity, and allow you to fund anything you want to do, whether it's like buying other layer 2 tokens on chain, as you refer to them in your ecosystem, or just like financing your everyday life. And of course, well, this is lending, so you have to be careful and monitor your LTV and other things. But long term, it can really be a nice way to effectively monetize your XRP without selling. So all those things, they will be available with what we have been building with THORChain, all 100% on chain, without KYC, without centralized intermediary, and that you will be able to access directly from your XRP wallet. And I'm not sure which. That's actually another interesting question. Which wallet is the one you use the most on XRP?
Well, I really wish I could say it's Mad Labs, especially with Zoge sitting here. But because I'm so familiar with it and been a pro user of Zaman, I am still mostly using my Zaman wallet. I have branched out into the Joey wallet. And once Mad Labs figures out how to get it off of his computer and into my phone, I'll use Mad Labs exclusively. But I use between the three. If I'm sitting in front of my computer, it's always best to use Mad Labs. It's a direct connection to the ledger. If I'm out and about, which I usually am, I'm using my Zaman wallet or the new Joey wallet.
Okay, that's very interesting. Like we should look at the end. I'm not sure if we will have the best UX integrating with those wallet, but that's something we should definitely look at. So that way you could also like interact with all those apps I was describing without having to even change the wallet you use in the backend.
I sent you another name. He's kind of boring to talk to. You're gonna love him. He's all about futures and finance and yeah. Anyway, check your DMs. I want to go to Cookie's hand. He's been super patient. I think he has some input on this topic. Go ahead, Cookie.
Some of the things you were just sort of rolling off there, they're things that the ledger here does natively anyway. Like there's definitely some things that it doesn't do, and we require amendments for. Where I'm sort of lost in the process a little bit is if I'm interacting on THORChain with my XRP from my XRP wallet, where does my XRP sit from a custody point of view? Am I effectively bridging that XRP across, and you're issuing an IOU for that XRP on THORChain? Because obviously the XRP never leaves the ledger, does it? So are you a traditional style bridge where it's just you accept XRP to the wallet and then just issue assets the other side of it? How does that mechanism work within THORChain?
That I think your question actually is for Riraa, because THORChain is like your liquidity provider. That's real layer one XRP that's going into the pool, but with the science. So I'll let Pragmatic take it. I'm pretty sure you're talking about the app layer.
You know, well, both are using effectively the same technology. So
Yeah, I would. Sorry to stop you, PM, but start with THORChain and then go to app layer. I think that'll help people understand.
Well, so on THORChain, you can deposit. You can do. You can become a LP and deposit your native XRP into effectively what we call an Asgard vault, which is a huge decentralized multi-sig, where instead of having like a 3 or 5 humans somewhere that control it, it's controlled by a subset of the 120 THORChain node operators, and you have like the private keys that churn every 3 days. And this Asgard vault then issue a representation of these assets on THORChain, and that's what is used paired with Rune to swap XRP against any other assets that is connected to the THORChain network. It can be Bitcoin, ETH, or stable coins or whatever. And the way it works under the hood is Rune is used as a settlement asset, and then you will someone who want to, let's say, buy XRP with Bitcoin, they will effectively sell Bitcoin for Rune into the Bitcoin Rune pool, and then with those Rune buy XRP into the Rune XRP pool, and then get the XRP back into their wallet. And when they do that, it's effectively the XRP is getting out of the Asgard vault and back into your XRP wallet. And the app layer, it's the exact same technology, except that instead of having you start with a layer one native assets on one chain like XRP, and you end up with at the end of your transaction with a layer one asset on another chain like Bitcoin. You just start the process, but then you stop in the middle and you keep the asset in, as what we call secured assets on a THORChain app layer. So effectively, your XRP is still in your ledger or whatever wallet you use, secured in a vault on the XRP side, and that you get this minted representation, this IOU, if you wish, on THORChain. And then this is this minted representation of your XRP locked into this vault that you can use across DeFi and do other things, trade in the order book DEX, use it as collateral to borrow against it, provide liquidity, whatever you want to do. And at any time, whoever has one of those minted representation of XRP, those secured assets, secured XRP, can redeem them and one for one get back XRP in the original wallet. And it doesn't require any centralized intermediary. And there is still, of course, a trust model because there are two different chains, but the trust is widely reduced. And what you have to trust is the integrity of the THORChain node operators. And it's a much more robust model than any multi-sig you can think of. And you will need to corrupt 2/3 of the nodes to be able to compromise the security and effectively extract those assets and make the IOU unbacked. This never happened in the past, so I think it has been proven that by now it's a fairly robust technology, and it's certainly way less risky than any other thing we see on centralized exchanges. And I think the recent Byte hack was a good illustration of that.
Can I jump in? I want to re-explain the THORChain base layer. So the user, you don't have to know anything about liquidity pools. So if you've got XRP in your wallet, in self-custody, and you're like, well, I want to buy some Bitcoin. Maybe it's blasphemy, sorry guys, but you want to do some trading. You send XRP to THORChain, and THORChain will send Bitcoin to your Bitcoin address in your self-custody. You don't have to own Rune. You don't have to know what Rune is. You don't have to have any like for gas or anything like that. You don't have to, understand the liquidity pool unless you want to understand like, how it works. But from the user's point of view, you have your self-custody XRP wallet. You're gonna send that into THORChain, and THORChain sends back to you Bitcoin to your Bitcoin address, and vice versa. Like everything else is abstracted away. But you are in self-custody the entire time. The only time you lose custody is that, that minute or two where you send in your XRP, the THORChain nodes it's going to an XRPL address, and the nodes read that, recognize that, okay, somebody sent in some XRP, they read the memo, oh, he wants to buy Bitcoin, okay, the nodes take Bitcoin out of the Bitcoin wallet and send that to your Bitcoin wallet. And that's it. It's super simple.
Super simple indeed, but complex as hell to get that all to work. Hundreds of thousands of lines of code. And I don't know if you guys remember one of the previous spaces with Code Hans, because Code Hans, he was helpful for getting the app layer on THORChain. One thing I loved, he said, he's like, everywhere I look in the THORChain code base, there is a story to be told of just like encountering problems and finding solutions, right? With the swap logic, the rotating vaults, the gas nuances. It's like there's scar tissue all throughout THORChain. It's like a story of pain and struggle to get to this point. Kenton is completely right that we have made THORChain in a way where it's so abstract that the complexity is simple. You want this, you have this asset, you want that asset. And if you can sign a transaction, you can swap assets permissionlessly, no KYC, right? Not a bridge. There's no intermediary application layer that's trying to send information to one chain or the other to release funds from a smart contract or whatever. This is real layer one for real layer one. And with that technology that's now working pretty smoothly, you get people like Pragmatic Monkey that can build on top of that. And that is why I've been so excited to do this space with you guys, to understand the potential, the power, the sheer power of the relationship between XRP and THORChain. What Zoge has been trying to build, now we can supercharge that. And because THORChain is a 0 to 1, any wallet that adds THORChain capabilities or the app layer has 0 to 1 competition over like maybe Xamin or Joey, like first come, first serve. Go ahead, Kenton.
I just want to add, so Stone brought up, the centralized exchanges, the delisted XRP, that's like coming off at the knees, right? THORChain has done the exact opposite. By THORChain listing XRP, it's opened the door to quite literally the rest of crypto, to a whole new audience for you guys. So, that's the value add for THORChain is connecting communities, right? Connecting these different tokens. So yeah, connecting tokens like it's never been done before.
Kenton, I can't wait until you guys have your own storefront, your own website where that's advertised too, and some nice colorful pictures, Solana to XRP, Ethereum to XRP, and then underneath of it, Solana to X meme. Let's go, bro. I'm telling you. I'll talk about it every single day on the show. Go ahead, Zoge.
Yeah, I just wanted to try to clarify and quantify the earlier statements about, struggling, not making it kind of stuff was mostly geared around. Yeah, it is hard, but aside from that, the lack of opportunity in the early XRP ecosystem of putting up a validator and being able to get transaction fees. And that's great that you guys have that on THORChain. So I saw it as an opportunity for people running validators on XRPL to run also on THORChain one on the same PC. A lot of people, they over-engineer and have hardware that's not fully utilized. So you could run multiple on the same. But aside from that, the integration for THORChain swap on MadLab was 2 8-hour sessions for me, and it didn't even include taking all of that time. So from nothing and no API knowledge and no knowledge of THORChain to having viable, working, nearly instantaneous swaps. I mean, I process swaps at it's like 8 seconds. And I don't even know what the transaction speed on THORChain was, but after I was done, it did not take very long at all to land in that wallet. And that wallet is so multi-capable. I was like, okay, it has all the assets in there. Very wild. And then while I was over there, I was able to move my XRP from, because I went to Rune, right into XRP again inside the wallet, and then right back to my MadLab wallet. And the whole process took me, a few minutes, and I was just like, holy shit, right? And I also opened up an XRP account on that side with the reserve fee and did a little looking at the numbers, and I was like, okay, so basically everything survived aside from opening up the wallet and around the amount required for a trust line at 0.2. So it's like 1.2 remaining in the account. And, yeah, no, it was a really, really fast, easy integration and a nearly cost-free experience. So for that part, incredibly impressed. And MadLab doesn't operate like Trust Wallet and all of these different. It doesn't have QR codes, and a lot of wallets do. They have DApps and QR codes and all of that. MadLab doesn't, because I believe that those are injection points and vulnerabilities. And from what I've seen, people have had many issues with those. So for MadLab, I put in all the functionality as the dApps, so to say, the things on top of, or XApps, however you want to call them, the things on top of the wallet that add extended functionality, like token destroyers that clear off dust and close the trust line, different things that aren't in the wallets, I added in to the wallet, including an Amazon store and other things. But it's all to remove the need for QR codes. And with that, I didn't have any, because if the THORChain swap required that, MadLab doesn't service for that. So integration would have been, very difficult. But in all honesty, the code side of it's like 500 lines, and all I had to do was read the THORChain documentation, go in and write like 500 lines of code and get that working. And like I said, it was a couple sessions at 16 hours, and that was it. So super easy, incredibly effective, worked right out of the gate. Once I figured out that, because I was integrating for DKit at the same time as the Asgard Vault, and they actually have different request methods. One's a post and one's a get, and I was figuring that out at the same time. And it was a little bit tricky, but it was partly because I was multi-threading the implementation myself. But yeah, it's wild. It was, what I just wanted to say was, I've been around since 2021, and I'm hearing, oh, Axelar's going to do this. Oh, Songbird's going to do this. Oh, Flare's going to do this. Oh, Choreium's going to do this. Oh, fuck off already. And I hate to be blunt about it, but THORChain came in, threw a fucking hammer at me, got my attention, and the shit worked, and then I integrated it. And as blunt as that may sound, I always hear interoperability from all of these suits and everybody talking about it and all of these promises, and I didn't see shit until THORChain came and did it. So that's where I am.
Hold on, Angry Panda. I want credit for throwing that hammer at you and rattling your cage. I feel like I rattled that cage and threw Denny in there and shut the door and left. Right? Isn't that how that happened? I was like, you're going to have to meet this guy. Here you go. You guys are going to love each other. I'm pretty sure that's how that happened.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, it's okay to swear in a THORChain space, because we've all been through the ringer. And, guys, I'm so excited for the introduce XRP community, because I've tried this before, guys. I've gone to other ecosystems like Base and stuff, and I said, hey, we added Base, and wow, you can do all these things, and it's a 0 to 1, it's incredible, and you don't need a, and then they're like, oh, that's cool. And then
those other
oh,
chains didn't have a stone that was
I'm
set in place in the middle of the
right.
ledger.
Bro, I feel like a beaten down dog. a beaten down dog, because I'm like, what we've done is incredible. And it's like, because he's right. Zoge is right. Everyone has a sales pitch, but they don't mean it. There's no meat on the bone. Well, THORChain's all meat, baby. And so when I showed up to XRP, you guys, like, I told you what we did, and you took me in right away. And I just can't thank you enough. And finally, like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing what we've done and what you guys have done. Let's come together. And I'm just so thankful that you gave me 2 hours of your time, Stone, and Pragmatic Monkey. I know it's late for you and you're so busy. That's why we need to get our builders together. We need to go. Zoge, like, I didn't tell Zoge to say that shit, guys. He said that himself. It's time to go. We got to get our builders together. Let's get the XRPL devs, get them working with Riraa, get them working with THORChain. It is the best relationship. And it's early on the app layer, guys. Like, it is so hard to build this. And Riraa has some of the most amazing devs in the world, but now they're building the most incredible stuff. So build these relationships now, get in there, and you're going to have 0 to 1s, guys. And you guys are going to win, because your original ethos, your design of connecting, you know what, I don't care if it's Swift or whatever, but now you're going to have a whole other primitive, this whole other DeFi narrative, no KYC, permissionless access to XRP for the entire world. Let's fucking go. Zoge, you have your hands up. Go ahead, buddy. Or if you can't.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm driving. If my hand's up, I didn't see my hand up, so I must be glitched or something. I apologize for that.
Worries. Hey,
No, what you said, hell yeah, let's build all the things. I think that a lot of these companies, these people, these promises were made, like you said, I've seen it 1,000 times in the ecosystem. Like, some projects will come in and they make 1,000 promises, but they're not building or doing anything. And then you have a shitcoin like Zoge, who just says, no, I'm not taking anything, I'm going to do stuff. And then one fucking man can actually get shit done when they don't give up. And that's what I've been doing this whole time, is just not giving up and building stuff. And I can make stuff, and you guys have a team that's far more capable than I am. And you guys are clearly making shit that, all these big multi-billion-dollar companies harvesting, getting really wealthy. I don't see the shit being built, is why they talk about interoperability and doing stuff. And then I'm like hearing crickets on fucking actual stuff that works in real time. And it just blew my mind. It blew my mind how effectively, efficiently, quickly I could implement it, and then how well it worked. Straight up how well it worked. And I did it myself, testing the code and everything. And I didn't use, like, even DKit or SwapKit. They have, they've created like GitHubs, and you can download this stuff and all that. I didn't even need anybody else's code. Like, I just went and made my own for MadLab. It's incredibly available. Whether you can do something like that yourself or implement something else that's been provided, creating a cross-chain swap with Thor, for me, has been the only real thing in the entire crypto industry that I've seen yet that's just available. And yes, you can go over Let's Exchange, or you can go over Simple Swap with their forward-facing, iframes or divs or applets, widgets that you can implement into a site, and that's really easy. However, believe it, that is something completely different. And the reason that I'm so bullish on the THORChain one is that's on chain, that's decentralized, that's a community of people putting up the liquidity, and the fees are exponentially lower. I've done a comparative on them. You can do that in MadLab. I implement so that people can see the direct comparison. I put them all on there. You punch in the numbers and you see the outputs. That's the results. So yeah, that's where I am with it. I'm super, super excited. I love implementing good technologies, and when they made it this easy, I'm expecting it to literally be everywhere and change blockchain. But years ago I said, yeah, we're gonna have completely intertwined cryptocurrency. It's just a matter of time. Somebody badass, more skilled than me, is gonna make really cool stuff, and that's what I'm aiming at, right? And I've been anti-CEX for a long time, and pro AMM, and even more pro, on-chain liquidity
past like a centralized AMM, and Algorand and HBAR and a lot of these ecosystems people really like, they still operate on an AMM basis that is technically off chain, and you have to follow these sites, and these centralized points, they're another term essentially, because they're not as bad as a CEX as far as the kill your customer and everything involved in that. They're actually, a lot easier to work with and better. But the next evolution of that, the next layer, is what we're talking about here, where it's just straight up on chain and nobody's your daddy, and you're a free wild creature doing the things that you should be able to do with assets that you own, and no permission from daddy, because there shouldn't be a daddy. We have the capabilities, the technology to ensure that, hey, things are handled properly, fairly, respectfully. And that's what finance needs to be. It doesn't need people's fingers in it so much, like what's been done with CEXs and top-down control.
Do you guys
banking.
have a sense for the XRP community? Do with the bad history with CEXs, is there a strong culture that everybody has self-custody of their tokens? Or is it like, no, there's still like half or 3/4 of us still has their XRP on the CEXs?
I would say that 90% of the people that talk about XRP and self-custody preach that it should be in your own wallet. So I mean, it's just my opinion, and the people I've surrounded myself, we're all like-minded, right? And we all have the same belief in self-custody, so we all have it in our wallets. But I am kind of tunnel visioned in that aspect. I would not say many of us have a large amount on any central exchange, and be pretty confident in that statement. Go ahead,
Because I
Zoge.
feel
What's your
like
opinion?
for it should be huge for the XRP community that that THORChain supports XRP now, because it's like the whole point of THORChain is to make centralized exchanges obsolete, or to stop relying on them. We only really need them for fiat, but after that, everything else can be done on THORChain.
Your only barrier is knowledge. The only reason every person that's into XRP isn't utilizing THORChain is because they don't know about it, is my opinion. I would say that once THORChain is mainstream, that's or public knowledge, so to speak, at least when 10% of the crypto community knows about you, which I would say they don't, and then it'll catch on. The concept is absolutely sound. That's why you have 63 people from the XRP community in here listening to you, and a lot of the top voices in that community. It's merely knowledge of you. That's the only reason there's not more people here. Go ahead, Zoge.
Yeah, I would say XRP is the personification of man, the duality in what one believes, both business and freedom. And we have both really, really well vested on chain. We have the suits, and they want the KYC, and they want to walk around with their noses up at the world. And that's TradFi, that's banking, that's standard business to a large degree. The ones with a lot of money, clout, power, they do have positions in XRP, and that's how they roll, and that's how they intend to continue to roll. However, as a pleb, a commoner, a degen, a trench warrior, the people out in XRP, the XRPL, add the L, that portion of people is incredibly self-custody, reliant on themselves, believing in decentralized and all of that. So we really do have a strong foot in business, government, and anonymous freedom, and both work on the ledger. By all means, my XRP is affected by the suits, and for the most part, their XRP isn't really affected by mine because I'm such a small fish, comparatively speaking. But that's a good position to be, because, I mean, in all honesty,
they do their big business deals and things go good for me. They do their big government deals and things go for me. But at the same time, I can operate in the ledger and modify, move assets, and now even interlope with other chains, and all of this awesome stuff. So I'm happy not only to see the integration and interoperability, but at the position of decentralized access to the ledger and the freedom in that. And yeah, tools like MadLab are still, I would say, large steps ahead in that, because of even the wallets, and I hate to say it, but they have IP tracking. They're doing a lot of things like MetaMask, and at the end of the day, MadLab has none of that. But when you start getting custodial laws and 3-year stagnation laws, like what's in California, and states attempting to claim ownership of your assets and stuff like that, you do have the ability to not be interlinked with that part of the ledger when you use some of the anonymous technologies created for the people.
I am, if I wasn't so dead inside, I'd be crying right now. I am so happy about this space. It's going really well. And I thank you, everyone. I really quick want to pivot to Stone. You said you were going to give us 2 hours. We've already gone beyond the 2-hour mark. This space is just on fire. It's absolutely incredible. But I just wanted to pitch to you, Stone. If you need to go, by all means, sir. I just wanted to respect your time, and I'm so thankful for your time as it is. Thank you.
Hey, I'm happy to donate it. I did get approval from the off-base commander to go ahead and extend a little bit further, and I want to do that for one reason, and that's just to let the community or the recording know about spaces that are going on now outside of what you might be used to. Some of these XRP spaces are more than just token launches and NFTs and the digital world. There are real world spaces or IRL spaces about RWAs, and somebody just jumped up with his hand up. His name's Aussie Nasi. He helps Lady K on Tuesday nights, and I think that might be what he wants to talk about. But to answer your question, Denny, I'm going to give you guys 30 more minutes. About 1:45, I really got to go.
Understand, brother. Thank you so much. Aussie Nazi, or I'm sorry, go ahead, Cone.
Yeah, so Aussie, you can go, and then Lady K, if you just want to introduce yourself one more time for the speakers and talk after Aussie Nasi about whatever he brings up, and then I want to just close out at least what I have to offer up with different spaces that I attend, such as the noon space. So yeah, Aussie to you, then Lady K, and we'll see how much time we have after that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having this beautiful panel right here. And shout out to THORChain, man. And we always saw THORChain as a white horse, and it's beautiful that they're coming out right now and pretty much, leading interoperability. Yeah, so just to cover some bases on that, XRPL pretty much has, everything that one can ask for when it comes to, being enterprise friendly. And, the fact that we also offer some things for, the short attention spanners when it comes to meme coins, and a lot of like, I like to say like bells and whistles. And for shout out to Zoge when it comes to, for like the ones that truly want to practice, being your own bank. I was gonna say BYOB almost. It's truly I don't know, it's truly humble, and it's an honor that the fact that Zoe is giving a lot of his time and energy for, pretty much, like answering all our concerns and then going a step beyond and further than the golden standard, and educating us on just on the levels of security when it comes to that, because what we think the golden standard is, when which people say military grade, it's basically like a 7 out of 10, and Zoge goes 2 steps further. And just for like when it comes to like the ones that are not aware of what XRP has to offer just as an investment tool, now it's more like a utility. That's where pretty much we have to like host real IRL events and RWA spaces and educate people that it's more than real estate. It's actually anything that encompasses a product. So Um, that's why I believe there's guidelines, regulation, and this is the time as we just begun. And I'm super excited and nervous for what's to come. It's just I don't know, it's just shout out to all you guys, and you guys are doing what you guys are supposed to. And we do have RWA spaces. Those also stand for real world assets and also Real Winners Award. So all you guys are winners.
Yo, thanks, Aussie. And Lady K helps host one of those spaces. Lady K, do you want to tell us about that real quick?
About the real estate?
Your real estate space on Tuesday nights?
Oh, that's with Aussie. Aussie hosts. Yeah. Um, so yeah, we just talk real estate and come and ask your questions. And I think this week we're gonna go over how to approach a seller and talk to them about selling their house, owner financing.
So besides running Validator on Algorand and the XRP ledger, and soon to provide for THORChain, we're going to get that all worked out. She also manages real world assets, and she offers up that information for anybody that's looking to do that. I know that in the XRP community, we're trying to grow a true community, and sometimes that requires taking your profits and rolling them into other avenues, and one of the biggest ones is real estate, and Lady K is amazing. So big shout out to her, and welcome back from your vacation, and hopefully that space in particular grows. I host one Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11. Lady K is my co-host, and then we rotate through a couple other ones, but mostly it's Optimistic Prime, who is the light of the ledger, and I encourage you guys to get to know her. I then go to my noon space with the Farmers Union. Cookie, who is also on stage, is the backbone of that project. And if you guys haven't gotten involved with it, it's so much more than just growing the farm. He is straight up educating us in the world of what's to come. So join the Farmers Union at noon. We like to end the evening on the XRPL with Zoge co-hosting for Floxon in Trench Warfare. They also have a great TA guy, Bunny. And so you start your day with new builders on the XRP ledger with me and Lady K at 9 a.m. And then you end your night over with Zoge talking about everything from what's going on in the government, what's going on the blockchain, and just how to be a good person and live your life. They get into spiritual things. They talk about charts. They do. They try to keep it well rounded in the evenings, and I gotta say, it's probably the best way to end your night, at least for us nerds on the blockchain. I do need to dip out of here. I'm gonna let everybody else say their goodbyes, and then try to shut this down by like 1:45. All right. So I would say next up would be Eric. If you want to do any final call outs.
Yeah, well, I wanted to speak a couple of times during the space, but my microphone kept bugging. But I just want to emphasize how many opportunities they just got opened by letting the XRPL get access to the liquidity pools. And Kenton already said this, but this is incredibly important. Now you actually have a wider marketing tool so that you can say, hey, you can buy X meme or you can buy the Shallow NFT with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, because people can now act like the XRPL can now access the huge liquidity from THORChain. And if there's a link, for example, from Zoge, that he becomes and we were actually speaking about this on the podcast from Dipito, or I think it was the later space. But the thing is, when you have this link, if Zoge becomes the link between the THORChain liquidity pools and the meme and utility tokens on the IOUs or L2s, or however you want to call them, on the XRPL, there's a link there. And now all of these projects get access to this huge liquidity and this huge marketing tool, this huge opportunity to just use the hashtag ETH. along the hashtag XRP in the same tweet and then catch all of this attention. So you guys now have this amazing opportunity to get to all of these audiences that previously you couldn't. So I'm really, really excited because now also with Riraa and with Mocha, we are providing more tools for your community to go out there and tell them, hey, XRP's got it all. So yeah, those will be my final remarks.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, guys, I want to also just take a moment to thank the TC intern, the main profile here. I know a lot of you guys here listening to this who are on the THORChain community are so appreciative of just having this professional tone and this wonderful relay of information for the greater sphere. This guy, he's a hard worker. He hosts these spaces on the weekend. He gives his free time and he puts in tons of effort just to facilitate education for everyone on X. And I just want to shout out the TC intern. It's a thankless job. He's in the background, just always grinding away. So, and I know a lot of times you're so exhausted doing this stuff, but you're an absolute legend. And I want to make sure I said that before we wrap the space. Thank you so much. I've thanked Stone and XRP community enough. I can't do it enough. And it's really just the best, guys. I mean, what just happened in this space? Everyone here listening to this live or the recording, you are listening to something truly special. You are listening to the beginning of a revolutionary permutation of technologies and communities. It's happening between THORChain, XRP, Mocha, Riraa. It's and more teams. Leodex, I see them in the audience. They're building amazing stuff too. There's so much going on right now, and it's all going to come together. All your hard work, especially Zoge, it's going to equal something. You are going to be empowered to do what you're always meant to do. And I just thank you all so much. God bless all of you. Thank you. I'll leave it there.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate everybody coming in. And if you want to continue these conversations, get into THORChain's DMs. Tell them you want to have another XRP THORChain space and a topic that you want covered. Denny, you can reach out to me and I'll reach out to the network of people that I'm associated with to get the appropriate people in for those answers. The best thing you guys can do is just consistently attend XRP spaces and pay attention to what's building and ask questions. A lot of times, we have the builders and the capabilities to solve problems, but we don't know the problem exists. So when somebody puts out a product on the XRP ledger or anything, it needs tested. And right now, the XRP ledger community is relatively small comparatively to the world, right? So the more quote unquote beta testers, also known as community members, we can get involved and able to access these and beta test these techs, it'll get better. So the more you try to break it, the better we can build it. And attending spaces to find out what's being built is right now our best form of communication. So just stay involved. Please encourage your family and friends, even if they don't have crypto or interested in it, get them on X. Get them on X and get them into these communities and let them talk to the builders and the developers in real time so that they can understand what community is, and go ahead, Denny.
You know what? I think that's a great idea. I would love maybe if we can do that, not anytime soon, because Riraa still has to bake a lot of things and we have to bake a lot of things on our end too. But maybe we got to do like a builder space. Like we get your builders that Aussie Nazi, Zoge, and whoever else. I know I don't know them all, Ugatire, whatever. And maybe we just have a space where we get the builders together and we start baking live right on stage and really talking about, because to me, guys, like just having like Pragmatic Monkey up here talking with Zoge and Stone and Lady K and stuff like that is what just gets me so excited. That's when we're moving the needle. Because then like we all have in our mind, we all exist in the story the brain tells itself, right? But then when we learn about what you guys are doing or what we're doing or blah, 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 then we start merging these ideas, and then our destiny just becomes aligned and shared and even more powerful. And that's what I want to do. It's not about me at all. It's just like, I really want to form the connections between like Pragmatic Monkey and Hans and Mark from Denver and whoever else. I just want to get the builders communicating and get the community to know each other, because as you guys, I don't know if THORChads, if you're listening to this, I don't know what you thought of the XRP community, but just listening to the things they said, it is not arguable. They share our ethos. And to me, that was one of the greatest things I discovered about XRP, because I was ignorant. I did not know. And I come and I meet these individuals and I'm like, asking them like probing questions, like, do you know anything about THORChain? They say no. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have the same ethos regardless of that. So yeah, I would love to do that, Stone. Great idea.
Yep, I'm all for it. And I know that at least in the network that I've grown, the people that are hosting those spaces would absolutely be willing to not only put it out there, you know, Builders Day, but maybe consistently focus on it. We could talk. We could make a builder's day on coffee and crypto. You know, we're there Monday through Friday at the same time. And if we could talk to these other spaces and carry that ethos throughout that day, or maybe it's only enough interest to have it maybe on a Saturday once a weekend. Yeah, well, I'm up for that. We'll put some feelers out there, see what people want. But that is a great way to connect and onboard. I see DK64 down there. He's got basically bridge everything to XRPL, and that's what you guys are talking about too. So the message is out there, whether you're trying to bring the communities through a meme project or you're trying to build developers through building universal AIs that talk to everything, right? From the top down, from the bottom up, we all want the same thing. We're all pulling the same direction. I appreciate you putting this together, Denny, and we will build on it just like everything else. Anybody that's down there, everybody that's down there, follow everybody that spoke that it resonated with you. Hopefully that's everybody. It does sound like we're all of the same mind and we're definitely pulling in the same direction. I appreciate everybody's time. I do have to go. If nobody else has any more goodbyes, we can close it down there. Do you guys have an outro you want to use? I could probably come up with one.
We do have an outro. Absolutely. Let me pull it up here. Well, first off, before I do, Kenton, did you have anything else you want to add at the end? Is any other speakers? I want to make sure I don't cut anyone off.
I can. Oh no, I can wrap up a bit. Just
Go ahead.
you know, we've got obviously we've been talking about XRP, this whole space, but we've also got Tron coming to THORChain. Should be live here in the next couple weeks, and then in the next several weeks, Solana. Long overdue. You know, all the THORChads has been waiting a long time for that one, and that opens the door to Cardano, Sui, Toncoin. So lots more tokens and communities going to be added to THORChain here over the next several weeks, and just bringing it back to XRP. This is again opens XRP to all these other communities as well. Connecting through THORChain. So yeah, lots to look forward to.
Perfect, man. I couldn't have said it better. Nice and succinct. Zoge, did you want to say something? Your hand just popped up.
Yeah, I just wanted to close with this is probably the most important space held today on the XRPL, and many people went to other spaces. I know a lot of the meme coins were in another one, and this was it. This was the space to be in. It's kind of the trend, though. I mean, to be honest, there's only a small group that actually follows the important things, and most of the people follow hype and other stuff. So for those that were here that get it, this is the kind of stuff that actually changes the future. So thank you all for attending.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I can't stress this enough. If the meme coin community on XRP is engaged, they have to know about THORChain, because THORChain connects the memes on XRP to the memes on Solana to the memes on Ethereum. So in order for those communities to go between each other, they go through THORChain. So the memers on XRP should be hot on this, because if they want to get that meme coin money
Right.
from Solana over onto XRP, it's through THORChain.
No, that was
So
my
yeah.
point exactly. And they were in a space. I think Victus Global had one going at the same time as us here, and I was just like, wow. And I had been in both briefly. I was listening to them and this one, and then I had to leave. But the point is just that there were more in that space, and most of the meme coins were in that space, whereas this was the important one in my opinion, and that's why this had my attention.
Zoge, let me just tell you, I know I'm on. Maybe I shouldn't tell you, but they they know where they belong, and they all show up to mine, and they will hear all of this. I promise you. I brought X meme in here just to show you that just because that space had a lot of icons in the audience, it doesn't mean that they weren't listening to you here. So we know where we belong. For those of you that don't know, shameless plug, I am in charge of Xmeme, just like Zoge is in charge of Zoge. I use mine as a collaborative token. He uses his to run a volume bot and do other things. So we do understand the importance of meme coins. I do understand that we are connecting the Solana meme world to the XRPL. It is not lost on me, sir, at all. And Zoj, you're absolutely right. This is the number one space that anyone on any blockchain should have been in and should listen to. Period. And THORChain is going to be what I want Xmeme to be on the XRP ledger. It's going to connect everything to everything. I want my coin to connect every project to each other, to include every utility. It's the whole point of anyway. I love you, Zoj. Very classy, my friend.
And I love you both. And guys, we had the first space. I know people are sharing the space, the pre-space that's only like 5 minutes long because it got rugged. But in the haste of starting, we didn't push the record button, but it is being recorded by now by a wonderful community member with the Coke. So as soon as he's able to get that recording, I'm going to send it to Stone and whoever else, and we're going to share this space because honestly, without exaggeration, I think this has been maybe one of the top spaces we've ever had this year so far, and that means we can only go up from here. Let's toss this thing.
I just had a great idea. I love AI. I'm glad it's not recorded, because now you can take this whole audio, throw it in some AI, grabs the Stone character. I want him walking around on stage when my voice pops up. And how captivating would it be to have that? Right? When Zoge's voice pops up, it's just this angry little red panda that comes running out of his little cage, and he grabs the mic and starts talking. I'm telling you, you can we can stream it on IMU TV. I see him down there. Shout out to Niall. That's right. XRP Ledger has its own streaming service. We're gonna have our own everything, guys. Dude, I'm telling you, who's got AI? Make this into one of those cool ass animated cartoons. I don't know how much work it'll take, but damn, it'd be worth watching.
That's the thing, guys. I dip my toe into the XRP community, and they're just doing so many things. I don't even understand 25% of what's going on, and I try to attend spaces every day. So
that's why I have to host them every day to try to figure it out.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. So there's something for everyone. I know you got to go. We're gonna wrap the space. So, you know what, Stone, you're the man. I'll give you the outro, buddy. If you wanna finish this up and send this thing home.
I knew you were going to say that as soon as I left the office. That's why I asked. Now I got to run my ass back upstairs.
Yeah, I don't know.
That'll look cool for the video.
Yeah.
Uncle Ron, if Uncle Ron's down there, he could make the graphics for it. That dude is so clever. I'm telling you. Hold on. Let me get to this. Should I play the new one, Lady K? Or are we still keeping that one on the DL? Yeah, we'll wait till that final product comes out. Now there's a little FOMO for you guys. A new intro to Coffee and Crypto coming soon. I love you all. Thank you for giving us, what was that, almost 3 hours. So I will see you Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard. Much love.
Wake up, it's time to grind. When your coffee clears your mind. The dark is the place to be. Souls connect and build in unity. Lady Pitch, she's the host of Cream. Angel of the sea, living the dream. Calm and jumping knowledge, so fine. Helping everyone, he's a mastermind. I'm you to the bench, independence on chain. Health and tax, innovation untrained. Next on me, want your messages to see. On the XR, the measure of the future's key. Copy and crypto, let's go. Souls supposed to make it flow. Connections made, the energy's high. To the river, reach for the sky. Copy and crypto, all night. Let's go through. Everything feels right. Stars and networking, don't you know? Bringing minds together, watch it grow. From Lady Kane, Carter's glow. It's above, we gotta go. Let's steal the show. Hell, that next, get the tools to thrive. I am you, keep the dream alive. XRP, we're on the ride. Building the ledger, the future's bright. Beauty, bank, independence, don't chain. Hell, that X innovation unchained. XRP, watching messages you see on the XRP ledger, the future's key. Nothing to crypto, let's go. Don't the whole making it flow. Connections made, the energy's high. Dance to the rhythm, reach for the sky. Nothing and crypto, boom. With the crew, everything feels fire. So got the vision, the fire, the drive. Lady K's angelic, the soul of the vibe. Karma's brilliance, lighting the way. Held it X and I am TV days. Track star piece, making history. On the XRP record, it's destiny. Coffee and crypto, let's go. Songs the host, making it flow. Connections made, the energy's high. Dance through the rhythm, reach for the sky. Coffee and crypto, boom. With the crew. Everything feels right. The people shown in the crew, it's the place to meet. Early morning, just night. Coffee crypto under the starlight.
Shout out to THORChain and hosting this amazing space, guys. We really appreciate you guys. Everything you do, all of your energy, it's not for nothing. It's going to build.